he still knows everybody, but the short-term memory and stuff is going. But just try to be supportive of my stepmom, and
Absolutely.
And it's a beautiful. I love.
All right.
Turkey hunting in Richland Center a couple.
Thanks for joining us on the stream, everybody. We are going to kick off the show in about 30 seconds.
You have audio?
Yeah, where's the audio? Where is it, though? I mean,
Oh, you're not plugged in.
Oh,
that's why. It's plugged in down here.
unplug it, and put it over there.
Yeah, pull it up. Pull it up.
There's oh, you got it.
There you go. That's a little, it's staticky, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
On location, it's the Todd Allbaugh Show. And now, pursuing truth wherever it may lead, here's your host, Todd Allbaugh.
On the Civic Media Radio Network and streaming worldwide on the Civic Media app. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Todd Allbaugh, along with our fantastic engineer producer, Mr. Aaron Zommers, on the board. It's 6 minutes past the hour of 2 o'clock on this TGIF Friday the 13th edition, 2025. It is a great day to be a Wisconsinite. Welcome in, everybody. We are here live on location for those watching on the stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twix, X, whatever you want to call it. We are here at the beautiful studios in downtown Green Bay of WGBW 97.9 FM and 1590 AM. We've got Conrad on the board up here. Conrad, thanks for coming in early. You're doing Schwaba's show Nightlight tonight. We've got you here. Thank you very much.
Yeah, of course.
He is a little salty because I did not bring him any Detroit pizza. But you guys were making pizza with Schwaba last night.
Yes.
Actually,
yes,
this morning.
This morning, too? And here beside me, we have the great morning team locally on WGBW and WISS in Oshkosh. Mino and the mayor, John Mino, Jim Schmidt. How are you guys?
We don't go hungry here.
We
Just
don't,
so you know,
man.
we don't go hungry.
Our guests,
Yeah.
when we invite guests, and it's usually someone from the food industry, culinary, either a chef or someone who owns a restaurant or food service, and that's part of their requirement to come in here.
Right. So,
And bringing plenty, not just enough for me and
so I
Johnny.
know you're going to start complaining right away.
Right.
You don't have pizza
But
in
we
front
Well,
of you.
no,
Todd.
I think already we've established that we,
Yeah.
if
We
Mathers
Do
is-
we look like we go hungry?
Right.
Todd?
We put the smack down on these guests.
And by the way, I would say one thing. You notice, Jim, whenever we have somebody here from Civic Media that doesn't work here at the station,
Right.
you notice they all have got a T-shirt, and we
I know,
don't.
we don't have one.
We don't have.
We
it.
don't
have
But
this?
everyone-
No.
No, we don't have. No,
No.
they would. Oh, no, that's for guests,
Yeah.
and that's for
It's-
people from Madison.
From-
That's
for
what we
guests.
get.
it's a GBW T-shirt.
Yeah.
Cheese and beer and
No.
Yeah.
We
Packers
don't.
and
Do
radio.
we have?
No.
Yeah, look at us.
Wow.
They give you free parking because we pay for our parking.
No, you guys know about my parking in Green Bay.
Do you know?
I,
Okay.
I did the app, and I'm booked until 6.
All right.
Okay.
It goes up every hour. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know. But
Yeah.
$9 is better than 25 or the 75 I had to pay with fines.
Exactly.
Is that
a couple of
unbelievable?
times.
Boy, they clip that
Welcome
quick.
to downtown Green Bay.
It just
But you know what? Can I tell you something? Know who to blame?
Who?
The former mayor.
No. I just want to say, I was just going to say that before he rudely interrupted.
Right.
I knew he was going to say that. Oh, when I was mayor, they were $8.
Well,
And more lead time. And more like,
And we used to have a beautiful mall across the street that was demolished.
It was
You
a
used to be able to
dog.
go
It
over
was a
there
dog.
and park
It was
and
a
come over there. And that
dog.
mayor tore it down.
Yeah.
So.
this
$4
is
million.
why-
I just want to say that mall was worth $4 million. We tore it down, built a corporate office, 700 jobs, and $40 million tax
Downtown
base.
Green Bay
So,
ain't what it used to be.
yeah,
But
thank
it's
God.
still a
Thank
beautiful
God.
place. Yes, it's a beautiful, beautiful
City
place.
deck.
It's we're right here
great.
on the water.
We are. Mhm.
It's beautiful. See,
Yep.
this is why people tune in every morning between 6 and 9 up here, because it's just the energy,
Oh,
the
yeah.
fun,
Just
the excitement,
the
the,
love,
positivity, the love,
The love.
and food.
We've been we were in an event one night. It was a very classy event over at the Hotel Northland, and a guy comes up to me and goes, "Hey, could you and Jim sign a autographed picture for me?" And I'm like, "Well, sure, okay,
Right, yeah.
okay." You know what it was a picture of?
What?
The two guys in the balcony from the Muppets.
It was.
True story.
Yeah.
I love it. That's fantastic. All right, we're going to talk with Jim and John just a couple of minutes here. But first, Mr. Zommers, is 9 minutes past the hour of 2 o'clock. And get ready, folks. It's a very special edition, the final one for this time around of Civic Media's Scotty Summer Text to Win Trivia Extravaganza. Here we go.
And it's 2 bad feet on the dashboard. Young love and an old Ford, cheap shades and a tattoo and a for wine. It's summertime.
That's right. Sing it, Kenny. It is Scotty Summer Text to Win contest here at Civic. It's the final day. Now, I know you guys have been playing this on your morning show here in Green Bay and Oshkosh. Now, we've done this a few times across Civic Media. It's a great contest.
Great prizes.
Right. The most important thing is people could win either Brewer tickets or $100 in the hours we do it. And everybody that enters in is eligible to win one of two grand prizes, either a getaway to the Baraboo Dells area or up here closer to you guys in Door County. And we're giving them a gas card. So that's the big advantage, number one.
Yeah, the only thing we have a disclaimer in regards if somebody wins the Baraboo area or the where we went. What was the name of the place we went where we're going to stay for the? It was our Christmas party.
Oh yeah, it's
Kohlrabi.
No.
It was the Kohlrabi.
No, it's not. It's the not the.
We had a room there.
Yeah,
It's the Chula Vista.
Chula Vista.
Okay. Chula
Yeah,
Vista.
yeah.
It's the
Chihuahua.
You got to be careful.
Okay.
You got to be careful going there from Green Bay area or coming back.
Coming
This
back.
guy got 2 speeding tickets
Can you
within
believe it?
6 miles.
Really?
Yeah, those little
within
towns.
6 miles.
6 miles.
Like
You
Preston.
go through
and-
Rochelle?
No.
Was it Rochelle?
Princeton.
Oh, Princeton.
And then what was the other one somebody mentioned yesterday?
Starts
What
with
it was?
the M.
Monticello?
Monticello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll get you.
6 minutes. 2 speeding tickets.
Johnny thought the second time we got pulled over, he goes like,
He thought the guy forgot to give him back his driver's license.
It's like, what?
Yeah.
You're my kind of guy. All right, so here's the big deal, guys. I got my
Christmas
Brewers hat on here. John's got his Brewers jersey on right now because this is legit, you guys. This is special. So all these tickets. So today, the hourly prize, we're going to give you the word in a second, and it's a pair of tickets, Brewer tickets, but this one, folks, is really cool because this is for a specific game. So please, if you're going to enter, make sure you can go on Sunday, August 24th, the first pitch at 1:10 in the afternoon. This is the game where the Brewers are going to honor Bob Uecker with a celebration of life.
That's great.
These things are going to be hot. They're going to be scalped. Everybody's going to want to go. You're going to win 2 tickets if you are chosen at random from this hour. And you're not even competing against a popular show like Mine on the Mayor. You're just up against this little dog and pony show this hour. So your chances are good.
It's been reinforced to
yeah.
us that we have never won the contest, right, Jim?
Yeah,
Really?
the overall, but we did today though. We won because of the game. We won the tickets.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Johnny and I.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
we're
we took
going.
Good job, guys. So this is for the August 24th Bob Uecker Celebration of Life game. The word this hour is Bob. The word is Bob. B-O-B, as in Bob Uecker. Text the word Bob. B-O-B-B.
Bobby.
No,
Bobby
that's
Lou.
not right.
Hey,
B-O-B.
Bobby.
B-O-B.
Bob.
It's
Bobby.
singular.
The Bob Man. The Bob Man. Texted the Bob Man.
Bobalicious.
Because if you-
Babaloo.
They're throwing the contest. No, because if you don't do it the right way, because Zommers and we don't pick it. It's the computer.
Ah.
And so if we
sure.
don't
Blame
spell
it
it
on the
correctly,
computer,
huh?
B-O-B.
Hey, that's Madison for you. Blame
that's
another
my
computer.
Right.
We blame it on
So,
Todd.
Right.
Yeah.
We got Todd. We got Con.
Todd,
Yeah.
yeah, the wonderful Todd Michaels up here. He's fantastic.
Absolutely.
He was our savior yesterday, quite frankly. So text the word Bob, B-O-B, right now to the Civic Media app. If you don't have it, go to your app store at your Apple or Android device. Download it. It takes less than a minute. It's free. It's what CBS's Gail King calls a deal. The Civic Media app, open it up. The first 11 stations are where you'll find us every day, and you can click on that, open it whichever one is closest to you. Lower right-hand corner, it says text, T-E-X-T. Click on that, and then text the word Bob, B-O-B, Bob, right now, and someone at the end of this hour is going to win those tickets to the special Celebration of Life for Bob Uecker on August 24th.
You know what I really like in commemorating him? They're going back to when he used to wear the plaid jackets on Johnny Carson.
Right.
I love that.
It really is.
And even
it's
the patch
fantastic.
and everything brings back that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's an afternoon game too.
Yes.
You know what
Yeah,
I mean? It's
right.
like
Yeah,
it's just
families could
easier.
go.
Yeah, it's great.
Anybody
Love 'em.
could go.
I love those games.
It's really great what they're doing all year down there in Milwaukee at AmFam Field. I've been to a couple of games so far this year, and it really is an entire season dedicated to Uecker. And you guys brought it. I mean, you brought it up, John. I mean, Bob Uecker was more than just an announcer.
Yeah.
I truly think he was one of the true ambassadors, kind of like Bart Starr, an ambassador for the state of Wisconsin.
Not even a question. But I mean, the Brewers didn't win a lot. Now, I'm going to show you a picture here just to show you how big of a Bob. This is me with this.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Uecker in a very plaid.
That was me wearing my plaid jacket in high school. I was styling, wasn't I? Be honest, I was hot.
Yeah, oh, you were
Yeah.
back in the day. I'm not going to lie.
Thank you.
I'm not going to lie. I'm man enough to admit it.
I appreciate that.
Text the word Bob, B-O-B, right now to the Civic Media app. Brewers a big part of our state of Wisconsin. But
Again, you know what? Even back in those days when the Brewers were really bad, let's be
Oh, yeah,
honest,
they were,
okay? You would still listen to a Brewers game to listen to Bob Euchre.
100%.
Yeah.
Sometimes that was one of my first jobs in radio in 1987 because you guys remember, you actually, for folks that don't know, we didn't have computers back then. You actually had to truly engineer the game and turn down the feed from TMJ in Milwaukee to play the local spots on basically an 8-track cart and then turn it back up. And back in those days, as you said, usually when the Brewers were at the worst, that's when Uke was at his best.
Absolutely. Because you know what? It wasn't the game. Okay, they're down 6-0 here heading into the 7th inning.
Right.
And it's like he would come out with his stories then.
And what his success, we had a lot of success. He's funny and a good announcer, but he transcended everybody. Old
Yes.
people liked him, young people liked him, college kids liked him. I mean, he was just, which is the reason he has had so much staying power. I mean, everyone liked him.
Yeah.
I still remember I was going to school in Arizona State, and the Brewers were in their old Sun City.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
For spring training. And the time he goes, wow, foul ball hit behind the grandstand here, and gentleman is on his way to get that one. And the cup was saying, hey, that gentleman is almost to the ball.
No, they're absolutely fantastic calls.
Yeah.
Guys, we have a couple minutes left here before the first break. Going to come back and talk more with Mino and the mayor here. But I know we had you guys on about a year ago when we were up here, but maybe give us a minute, each of you, kind of on your biography, how you got into this, and how the show started.
I was mayor here for some time, 16 years, and I got a call from Civic Media, and they're like, we're thinking of opening up a station in Green Bay. This is a beautiful studio, by the way, isn't it?
It really
Every person in the media who's been in the media all their life in Green Bay that walks through here says, holy cow.
It's unbelievable what they built here. And he said, well, we're looking for someone to do some radio stuff in the morning. I'm like, okay, well, fine. Let me talk to some people. I know some people who do it. He goes, well, we'd kind of like to talk to you about it. So I went down. It was Sage's birthday. He was 45 that day.
Oh, nice.
Yep. Went down there and met with him. And I was interested. I thought, well, I can't do this. So I called Johnny and said, hey, look, man, there's an opportunity in Green Bay. Are you interested? And we got together and talked a little bit. Talked to Crute was there. And I don't know. It's been great. I remember how nervous I was the first day. Johnny was sitting here. I'm sitting by the window.
He had a pile of notes like
I
this.
I had so many notes. I had flow charts where it was going to go if this didn't go
Arrow
right.
pointing to
Arrows
this.
pointing. And the guy's like, okay, 15 seconds. John's looking out the window. I'm like, I have all these notes in front of me. And so anyway,
radio.
He's
right.
Well,
Exactly.
he's a natural, and I'm.
But you don't want to over-prepare in radio.
No, you don't. But, John, you've been on the air for years.
40.
Yeah.
40.
A
41.
legend up in this part of the state.
Well, in my mind. But it's one of those things where, radio, I did TV for a lot of years. And the thing what people would always ask, what's the difference between doing sports in TV like I did versus doing radio? I said in TV, you put in 4 hours of prep work for 3 minutes on the air. Mm-hmm. In radio, you put in 4 minutes of prep work for 3 hours on the air.
If that.
That ain't far off. But I think that's a really good point because speaking of Bob Euchre, Lane Grindle, one of his former partners, now still one of the voices of the Brewers, in a memoriam article I read, he said, early on, kind of like you were saying, I came to all this stuff, and Euchre told me, Euchre said, the game's out there, kid.
Yeah.
Don't be looking down at the notes.
Right.
The game is in front of you. It's the person in the stands.
Yeah.
It's the bat boy. The game's out there.
Exactly.
And one of the great keys.
Because
to
that
radio.
way you're talking to an individual out there listening.
100%. We'll come back and talk more with Mino and the mayor. We're live on location at WGBW in downtown Green Bay. The word is Bob, B-O-B. Text the word Bob right now on the Civic Media app, and you can be going to that special Brewers game to honor Uke's celebration of life in August. Don't go anywhere. Back after this, live from Green Bay on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Actually good.
Don't worry, nobody's listening anyway.
That's good stuff.
That's good. Nicely done.
Fun.
92.7 WMDX. Blind Shot Social Club.
So you tell us how much you want to do.
Cool, yeah.
We'll
Let's go back
Indoor golf,
talk
space for
a little
events,
about the
craft
show, and then
cocktails,
we'll
and
get into,
non-alcoholic drinks
I wanna
too.
get
A
into
hidden
what
gem
you
on
guys do
Madison's
to
East
honor
Side.
veterans specifically.
Okay.
I just think that's great stuff.
Okay.
BlindShotSocialClub.com.
We had a great guy on yesterday
Yeah.
down in Oshkosh. Holy cow.
Awesome. So we're here. How long do you want us here? Just the next segment?
We'll see. I mean, either the next segment, or do you want to stay a little bit into the C1? That's fine.
Okay. Yeah, I just have to be somewhere at 3, right? So
Oh,
I got to leave at quarter to 3.
yeah, we'll
Don't
get out
have to
at
go
quarter
next
to
time.
four.
Fine. 5 minutes away. I'm just going to meet some friends of mine.
But what do you believe in? At Chance Design Build, we believe every person must
You
have
have any
the
other days
opportunity to thrive. If you're thinking about remodeling your
Thursday,
home,
right?
visit
Yeah,
ChanceDesignBuild.com.
By the way, Todd,
About our commitment
can you
to
make sure
making
that
your home
they both know that they're still live on the stream? Because normally their mics are down in the breaks.
Oh, all right, yeah.
Okay,
Zombers to make sure you know you're still alive.
Sorry, we're still trying to set up guests here for
yeah,
next
I know.
week.
Go ahead. That's fine. Matt Flynn was on a while back, and he was saying some stuff about callers. We're like, Matt, you're still on the air. He goes, I was kidding. I take back everything I said.
That's funny. Hey, that euchre tribute could be huge, though.
Right?
That's going to be quite the thing.
This could be super cool.
That's going to be quite the thing.
Yeah.
It's time for Civic Media's Scotty Summer Text to Win contest right here on this local Civic Media radio station. We want to hook you up with $100 cash, Milwaukee Brewers club level tickets, and the chance to win a summer getaway to the Wisconsin Dells area or an escape to Door County. Download the free Civic Media app in the Google Play or App Store. Then listen in for the keywords during the 7 and 11 a.m. hour and 2 and 4 p.m. hour. Text in the keyword and get set to win. It's Civic Media's Scotty Summer.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel.
your dad in
Distracted driving
like
is
a
what's
home?
really
No,
scary.
he's my
25 seconds.
Still taking care of him at home right now.
Wow.
So it's
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Dementia's tough. My sister died of that. And she's not that.
Sister-in-law, too.
And
We're big with the Alzheimer's
we are.
Foundation.
We do a lot for them because it's. But
Affects everybody.
boy, that's
It
scary.
does. Yeah. All right, here we go.
Tell all the people across the USA, I love my Green Bay Packers, who won the first Super Bowls ever.
As the hour of 2 o'clock on this TGIF. It's Friday the 13th, and yes, we are in the hometown, the Green Bay Packers, Lambeau Field, just up the road. Right now, we're at downtown Green Bay at WGBW Studios, 97.9 FM. We're happy to be here, of course. We have with us in studio, actually, it's their studio, Mino and the Mayor, the great morning team here. You can listen every morning, 6 until 9, locally over the air on WGBW and WISS in Oshkosh. But here's the amazing thing, guys. This is one of the reasons I want, well, number one, I think you're great. But number two, now at the Civic Media app, if people aren't in the Green Bay or Oshkosh area, they just download the Civic Media app, dial up WGBW or ISS, and they can listen to you anytime.
Yeah, we get a lot of people from really outlying areas.
Yeah.
Oh, Florida. I mean, we get
I
some
bet.
regulars that are down there. You know, they know us maybe from being up here, and they're. It's amazing how
Las
many.
Vegas, one of
Yeah.
our good listeners from
Really?
Las Vegas.
And they're regulars. It's not
Yeah.
like, oh, tuned in here, heard you guys. It's they listen for on their morning walks. A lot of them, or on the way to work. So that's pretty cool. That it. You're right. We're here in Green Bay, but it's really nice to get emails and texts from people all over.
It really is. Before we go any further, don't forget we're right in the middle of the Smack Dab, in the middle of the Scotty Summer Text to Win contest. The final one for the summer here, at least of this period, up for grabs this hour. At the top of the hour at 3 o'clock, we're going to give away 2 tickets to the Milwaukee Brewers. This one for a very special game at AmFam Field on Sunday, August 24th, 1:10 in the afternoon, the first pitch. It is the Bob Uecker Celebration of Life game. So these are really cool special tickets. Text the word Bob, B-O-B, right now to the aforementioned Civic Media app. Guys, to your point, one of the reasons I love listening to it is, yes, of course, you talk about stuff in Green Bay, but you guys have local musicians. You guys have people come in that are of interest, whether you live in Green Bay or Oshkosh or not.
Well, thanks. That's our favorite segment. The music segments.
Well, there's so
bring
much
local musicians.
talent in Green Bay. We are, known for sports, right? Packers, and
Right.
we've got some unbelievable high school teams here too. But there's just some great music in this community. The arts are good, the visual, and so we showcase them every Friday. Sometimes more often than that, but Friday we always dedicate the last hour of our show to featuring someone from the arts, and we get great comments on that. But I just to say, people in Green Bay, right? They're interesting. They're from Green Bay, but what they've done, you can do other places. You know what I mean? Like you get some of these community people that we have on here, and they lead organizations in the homeless or in Alzheimer's, and you can take that to Tulsa, anywhere you want. And so I think thanks for saying that, but we really think we have interesting guests.
Yeah, you really
and
do.
that's, I don't know if people outside of the Green Bay area realize that, we're not just focused on the Packers. We really want to focus on one of the things that, and Jim brings up a great point here, or has brought up a great point, about he's always concerned about the brain drain. These kids are like, I'm going to leave little Green Bay and go away to wherever, whatever. But ironically, there's different surveys or whatever coming out that we see where the opposite is happening as well. People who have already established themselves in another area look at crime rates and
cost of money. I mean, the value of your money. Your money goes pretty far here.
Yeah.
They just said that it was in the paper this week about how it's a number of hours work to get a home. It's cheaper here, because we pay pretty well, and yet real estate is still affordable, even though real estate's crazy.
Wasn't Green Bay just one of the magazines or surveys of most affordable or top place to
That's
live?
exactly that's what he's talking about.
And that's U.S. News and World Report. That's not some online thing. I mean, that's pretty credible
legit.
stuff. It's legit. So
it really is.
Yeah, we're very proud of that.
And to your point, I mean, look, I love the Packers as much as anybody else, but my dad and stepmom live in Shawano, a half hour from here, so I've spent a lot of time in Green Bay over the years. Much to your leadership, Jim, I think, Green Bay has changed. Of course, there's others involved, and downtown is much more vibrant than it used to be. Yeah. But you also have the great Performance Center here, the University of Wisconsin Green Bay, which is a world-class university, in my opinion. You've got the Botanical Gardens, which brings people from all over. You have a zoo here. You have Bay Park.
Bay Beach is amazing, yeah.
I do want to say, and when we do some recruiting, especially with healthcare, this is we're pretty well known for healthcare. I mean, obviously, cheese across the street and paper has always been staples for us. Take nothing for granted, but we're very fortunate to have those two industries here. But when you look at healthcare, that recruitment of the doctors, and both male and female, the fact that they can be in the OR and then be fishing in 25 minutes, 30, maybe 30, and that really, you would believe how many doctors are into this, or the healthcare profession are into what we have here in Green Bay. So yeah, it's an easy place to sell. They just got to get here.
When I was in real estate, I had a doctor moving up here, or I showed him some places, and he says, I can't believe this. I could be out in the country. I'm in the country. There's deer. There's deer out there. He's like, well, there's deer here. We're in the country, and I can be at work within 12 minutes. Yeah. He said in Chicago, there were times he would have to take his bike and just weave through traffic to try to get there within like half an hour or something like that. And he was just X number of blocks away. Yeah. And he's like, oh my Lord, this is incredible. So those are the kind of things I think over the years Green Bay has really, and I got to tell you one thing though too, you mentioned Shawano. Those kinds of communities are really growing because they became a little bit more of they used to come the bedroom communities or whatever, and people come to Shawano and it's like, look at this lake. Right. Look at these.
Highway 29 has made a big difference.
Yeah, the 4-lane, huge difference.
And we you talk about performing arts. So we have the Widener Center. There's so many more venues now for the artists. I mean, you have Lambeau Field, which you can get a huge concert in, but you look at just the Meyer Theater 1000, Meyer 2000, the Widener 2000, and Appleton is 30 minutes from here. And Oshkosh has a lot of things going on. So this whole 41 corridor, we're going to call it Northeast Wisconsin, very attractive.
It really is, because Widener brings in the same off or Broadway shows touring in Madison or Milwaukee. Right. I mean, in here, and then you're an hour, less than an hour from Green Bay actually, and you're in Door County, and then you got all that going on.
Well, not only that, but we're also in Appleton and Oshkosh with the state with WISS, but we have one of their guys, Pat Tracy from Oshkosh, and the things they've got going on in that city, it's unbelievable. I mean, they do a volleyball tournament every year that brings in like 500,000 people.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know what I mean? In Oshkosh, Wisconsin.
And I think because of the size of our community, but we've got a lot of confidence now after pulling off the draft successfully. Right. And we pull up, 10 games a year for the Packers. And I just think this is a place that, I want to stick around.
Jim goes to a volleyball tournament every year. He's a big fan of the Brazilian women's team.
Come on back. More with Mino on the other side is the Allbaugh Show live from Green Bay across Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network. Text Bob. BOB right now to the app.
Welcome to Madison's real news and great conversation.
Yeah, that's great. Let's come back and just do one more. We'll focus on the veteran stuff, and then wrap it up.
We do. I just want to say that I have a show on Sundays too. We do talk a little politics on Lean Local.
Oh, yeah, all right.
But Todd gives me pretty much.
All right, well, let's mention that. Yeah.
Yes, consumers are paying more for beef at the grocery store, but
No.
it has not changed their consumption patterns.
I told him to call me. I want him to
Bianchi
come over
with
to my
a quick update
house.
on what's happening in food and farming news on a Friday. I
See
talked about it with
Wednesday
Dr. Glenn Tonsor. Tonsor is a
Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
professor in agricultural economics at Kansas State University.
Is this
He
you?
also coordinates
Did you
the
send something to
monthly
him under?
Meat Demand Monitor Survey. Tonsor says
I just
the
wanted his
latest
number.
survey shows that consumers are anxious
Is
about
Shaggy
international
Zommers, let's come back with something like I don't know, something either Violent Femmes or Put Me in Coach or something like that to promo the tickets, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
More and more people are telling us they self-declare as a meat consumer. The rate of vegan vegetarianism is actually declining per the MDM. So to put a bow on that is those are trends that are going, they're conflicting. So far, we are seeing retail demand shrink.
Well,
build
okay.
up
Did he
to
give
grocery store for at home, which is consistent with
I'm
the
just
grilling,
thinking
as you
future.
said. But we're seeing notable weakness
that's
in
what we
food
want.
service. So away consumption. And that fits
Text.
the macroeconomic
Answer
concern we're
my
talking
phone.
about here.
Right.
Dr. Glenn Tonsor, ag economist at Kansas State University, talking about the latest monthly meat demand monitor. You can take a deeper dive on
You see that joint finance
information.
put the
Go
smackdown
to
on the money for
agmanager.info.
municipalities
That's
because of the draft. You know,
agmanager.
Oh, I didn't see that
spent way too
part.
much.
Giving
Yeah.
back. It's at the heart of the
And
Wisconsin
they were
farmer,
gonna ask
and it
for
starts
reimbursement.
with supporting the backbones
Said no
of our
today.
community. That's why the Wisconsin
Yeah,
Soybean
but-
Marketing Board invests in soy foam for our firefighters. Soy foam TF1122 is the first
maybe
and only firefighting foam green screen certified at the gold level. As a PFAS-free firefighting foam, it's safe for you and the environment. A safe future for your community. Thanks to your soy checkoff. Learn
It's the
more
same
at
thing.
wisoybean.org.
The Classic Green Reunion comes
Yeah,
to
they're-
Wisconsin June
We're not
12th
high-tech.
through the
We're not
14th
high-tech.
in West
Right.
Bend. This year's event
That's
showcases
bizarre.
Model B
Okay, so
and
he'll give you a
industrial
call then.
tractors, Waterloo
Okay,
boy engines, and even drills. Come
so that
for
would
the
be
tractors
Thursday.
and equipment and stay
think
for the
we're
tours,
open.
vendors,
just- we got
camaraderie,
7,
and a good
7:30 and
old-fashioned
8, so
Wisconsin
just-
fish fry. To see event details or
Any-
to register for tours, visit classicgreen.org. The Classic Green Reunion, June 12th through the 14th in West Bend. See you there.
7 to 8,
And the
8
last
times between
member
7
of
and
the
8:30,
Wisconsin
right?
State FFA
Well, not 8
officer
to-
team was announced yesterday.
If they come at
Pamela
8:30, we're full.
Drexler
So
from
Oh, on
Glenwood
Thursday?
City has
I
been
thought
named the
don't we
Wisconsin
have somebody at the end? So
Association of
we're open
FFA
at 7,
president for
7:30, 7:30 to 8, and 8 to
2025-2026.
8:30. So
Her
anytime
parents
between
are
7
Mike
and
Rebecca
8,
Drexler,
they can come
her advisor,
and be on for a half
Kirsten
hour.
Condor. If you'd like to follow
Okay.
up on all the FFA activities from this week's state convention, check it out. MidwestFarmReport.com, Midwest Farm Report on Facebook. That's Food News on a Friday. I'm Pam Yankee.
You know, the two, Todd,
Local
the
radio
two things
for
that
you
we
and your community.
like
It's
donate
Civic
to and
Media's
give
mission
money to
with
raise money.
stations
John
across
works a lot with the
Wisconsin.
veterans, and I work a lot
Find
with
your
the
favorites
homeless.
at
Okay.
And that's kind of what,
civicmedia.us.
like,
Well, let's
Yeah.
talk about both those things.
some guy painted these two
And ironically,
pictures.
some of the homeless are veterans.
Right? Yeah, sad but true.
Yeah.
Sad but
Yeah.
true.
Showers, maybe a small storm
But like those
later this
pictures, we had a friend of ours, John's
Until
friend,
around
painted
1
those in the
p.m.
auction.
sunshine,
He does
warm
all the,
temperatures creeping
or a
into
lot
the
of the
breaks.
tattoos across on Lambeau.
That's
And then he does
amazing.
so many NFL players, their cleats.
Yeah.
Like you can't believe it.
And we
The
took
John
that, he
and Gordy
painted it,
Show.
he came in here, he painted that with a football and a pair of cleats. Can you believe
kid
that?
from Shayocton.
Yeah, and we auctioned it off and it got $700 we got for that.
How cool is that?
Yeah,
Isn't
and,
it?
and that's I'm going to auction that one off for a veterans event.
So you can go to the Civic
Right.
Media
So
app, you know,
cool.
just collect
Yeah.
them and
I love it.
Legion
I
McKenzie.
really love it. That's what I
Feeling
mean.
persecuted now.
To me, that's
sorry.
the
I know you're very
thing I get the most out of when you can make an impact in some positive way in the community,
on
right?
92.7
So we try to do.
And there's so many
WMDX
things
and the
you
Civic
can't-
Media app.
Yeah.
Nightlight with
Just-
Tate
you gotta pick a
Schwab.
lane,
Yep.
maybe
Fun
two,
Yep.
listener
but-
names.
We're big
Some
with
followers of the show
homeless,
can call
Yep.
veterans,
themselves. I thought, how
Alzheimer's.
about
Right.
Couch
Those
Those
would
are
be
the ones
the-
that we really trying to watch.
But we have everyone come on here.
Sure.
But
No,
they
no,
always
you do.
say, but you guys.
I love
Yeah.
that. Whatever it is, folks, embrace your inner couch
And I-
potato. We are
you
not
have
30
meant
seconds.
to work
There's
in
so
the
much
farms
to
and
All
live
right, here we go.
What is that?
o'clock on a TGIF Friday the 13th. We are live from WGBW headquarters in downtown Green Bay, Wisconsin. The talk of Green Bay. We are here with the great morning team locally, not just in Green Bay, but WISS in Oshkosh. Mino and the mayor, better known as John Mino, and Jim Schmidt here at their great studios. That music you just heard that Zommers dialed us in with, a little Violent Femmes. And you will say, well, what connection does that have to the Brewers? Well, let me tell you right now, and apparently I'm going to educate Mino right now. I have in my hot little hands a DVD of the great movie Just a Bit Outside, the story of the 1982 Milwaukee Brewers. Of course, done by our friend, they become friends, Sean Hanisch and Kelly Call, with the director and the co-producers respectively. And it's the story, guys, of the 82 run of the Milwaukee Brewers.
I'd never seen that before.
Really?
When did that come out?
The movie came out last fall, and the DVD came out over the winter. And if you guys haven't seen it, and a little plug here for our friends at Just a Bit Outside, not just the DVD, it's streaming right now for free on Roku. So go to Roku, and you can stream it for free.
Got that, John?
And also on Apple TV.
I'm downloading it and uploading it right now.
Sure,
on my phone,
is.
and on my
right,
watch.
on his phone. On his, yeah.
No, it's so well done
On the
because
computer.
there's no like voice of God. There's no like back in the day or whatever. It's just like Bud Selig and Robin Yount and all the guys.
Ted Simmons, Mike Caldwell, Sissy Cooper, Pete Vukovich, Paul Molitor, Gorman Thomas, Jim Gattner, Jim Slayton, Moose Haas, Charlie Moore, Ben Ogilvie. Wow, Raleigh Fingers. This looks great.
It's one of the. I'm not just saying this because I got to know the guys that did it. It truly is one of the best sports films I've ever seen. And as they say, even for people that don't like sports, it's really about a love story between a team and a city. Because back in those days, as you guys will remember, speaking of cities that went through a lot, Milwaukee was reliant on Schlitz Brewing and Pabst. There were some of these people, and they lost a lot of jobs.
Jim's family did everything possible to keep them in business in Two Rivers.
But the team was looking for, or the city was looking for heroes, and the team needed somebody to prop them up, and it's just a great story. But anyway,
okay, just to be a typical radio guy to try to rob from other people, can you get them on our show?
That's right.
Sure.
We'd love to have those people that put this together on our show.
And sometimes they watch. Kelly and Sean, if you're watching, we'll set you up with Mino and the mayor. I'm sure they would love to come on. So they've been really great partners in this. It's just great to get this story out. Here's, for all you listening right now, here's the connection. If you would like to go to a Milwaukee Brewers game for free, not just any game, but it's a game on August 24th, 1:10 in the afternoon on a Sunday is the first pitch. And it's the game they're going to honor Bob Uecker and his celebration of life. These are going to be really hot tickets. And all you have to do right now is download the Civic Media app, open it up, one of the first 11 stations, click on that, then click where it says text, and text the word Bob, B-O-B, right now. At the top of the hour, 20 minutes away from now, we are going to give away 2 of these tickets to this very special game on August 24th, honoring Uke, and you could be going along with a friend. Again, text the word Bob, B-O-B, right now to the Civic Media app. Awesome. Guys, your show, Mino and the Mayor, every morning in Green Bay and Oshkosh, 6 until 9. People can also stream it on this aforementioned Civic Media app. We were talking over the break. I'm so thankful to be back in radio after being out for quite a while. It's a privilege. It's an honor. But one of the coolest things I like about it is not just having fun and being goofy, but also being able to do a small part to impact our local communities. I know that's what our founder and CEO, Sage Weil, is passionate about, is community involvement. Tell folks a couple of main issues that you guys are focused on up here.
First of all, there's a lot of issues, right? I mean, there just are. But I spend a lot of time, I focus a lot of my energy on the homeless population. And we have that here in Green Bay. And those people who say they don't have it, they're in denial. It's everywhere. And an awareness, and some people, they may stereotype this, and it's not. It's our job to say, look, we've had homeless people on our show and have talked to them, and these people are struggling. And they need
each one of them has an interesting story to tell. It might be heartbreaking, but it's compelling.
And so I actually work part-time at the new community shelter here in Green Bay, and I like the fact that I can convey some of these stories. I can talk about, there's fundraising in every nonprofit, and we like to support the fundraising for new community shelter. And the best thing about it is we're making an impact. I know we are, because I hear people say things, and I think we're moving the needle a little bit. So I'm passionate about that. as I am everything else. But like I told you during the break, you got to pick maybe 1, 2, or 3 things because you can't pick 20.
Although I will say this, what he does there as far as getting people to help, they get hands-on when they serve the food. And it's really good to make awareness of some of our young people about the plight of homeless because some might have a misconception of what they really go through. Jim, talk about the time you had a group serving the homeless on the Friday before Memorial Day last year.
And Johnny was there. And I just want to say before that, I have students come. I teach, and I have my students come there. Not to, if you don't do a good job, you're going to end up here. It's like, look, as somebody who makes money, you got to give back to your community, and this is something that I really support.
It's a slippery slope between being, whatever you are and being homeless.
2 paychecks. Anyway, we had Green Bay, diverse. There's wealthier schools, and we had a wealthier school come in and was helping us serve these kids. I don't know, juniors. Yeah. So I was, and it was slow that day. We serve about 150 people for a meal. And I think we're, 90, 95. And I was like, wow. I said, it's a little slower today. And I thought, he said, probably a lot of people up at their cottages.
The homeless are at their cottage.
The homeless are at their cottage. He did. We're like, okay, dude.
Well, let's talk.
But isn't that fascinating? Well, that's what he's saying. Right? That's what he's saying. Just people don't know.
I mean, that is the definition of privilege.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But how cool is it that you're helping in a gentle way? Say, look, time out.
I just want to tell you that kid was there volunteering.
Right.
He was
great.
He's a great kid. He just didn't see the whole field.
Right. But great that you're I don't want to say intervening, but helping to educate at that age. Like, dude. There's a whole other way.
Let's sit down. Let's talk.
The homeless aren't here today. They're up at their cottages.
As they do. They do.
Oh, I'm sure. It's water skiing. What else?
Yeah. We're talking with John Mino and Jim Schmidt, hosts of Mino and the Mayor, every morning 6 until 9 here in Green Bay and Oshkosh. You can find their show on the Civic Media app as well. John, I know one of the things you're passionate about, you've talked on this show before, veterans. You guys don't do a lot of hard politics on your show in the morning. I think that's for the best, quite frankly, because it's more inclusive. But regardless of what people might think about what's happening out in Washington, D.C. tomorrow, I would hope to goodness all of us can be in agreement that the men and women who have put on the uniform of the United States Army for 250 years, the uniform of the U.S. Navy for 250 years, all of our veterans deserve our respect and our gratitude.
Yeah, no question about it. Another group that I just want to throw out there is the National Guard. One of our units from right around here and the Madison area, they're going to be deployed overseas in the Middle East. And I was very fortunate. I embedded 3 times, once in Afghanistan, twice in Iraq. And Jim's been to Kuwait, the same type of thing.
Djibouti, all that.
Djibouti, all those areas. And you know what you find? They're a long way from home. If nothing else, all the other things, they're a long, long, long way from home.
And their age, John.
And they're so young. My goodness. We see in the media all the time. You see it when they're in the big battle gear.
You don't see it.
They look, indestructible, big, strong. And then I remember I brought over the Brewers, Milwaukee Brewers at the time. Summerfeld, Kent Summerfeld.
Oh, really?
Sent me a whole bunch of T-shirts, Brewers T-shirts.
Good old Kent Summerfeld.
Remember Kent?
Yeah, of course.
And I gave them all to the young people at the base I was at. So they were allowed. They got special permission to wear those Brewer T-shirts around in the mess hall and everything. And that's when it hit me. It's like, oh my gosh, these kids look like they should be cutting their grandma's lawn instead of fighting a war. We send really young people to war, and that's what opened up both of our eyes more than anything is the youth that we're sending away. And
God bless them.
And God bless. So that's one of the things. I remember one time when I was in Afghanistan, Kandahar, it was Thanksgiving morning, and this young group, hey, Mr. Mino, we're from, I think one of the girls was from Shano and whatever, and they were going on this mission in Kandahar, the birthplace of the Taliban, on Thanksgiving, and everybody back in Wisconsin was getting ready to eat this big meal and have fun and watch football. And here's these young kids going out in this most dangerous place on the face of the earth. So it's like, how can you not want to support them?
Right. And I mean, you guys said it over the break as well, unfortunately, but realistically, too often, some of our homeless are also some of our veterans.
No question.
We have dedicated spaces for the veterans, and that's sad. It's really you talk about someone who did so much for you, and then they're homeless, and they have some sad stories. I mean, some things happen. There's medical things that come up, but there's absolutely no reason any of our veterans should be homeless.
Jim, I know that you do a program on your own, I believe, on the weekends. It does get a little bit more into politics on Lean Local. Tell us when that's on and what you talk about.
They give me a little more rope on that. But I just want to say, Todd, you're right. When people are getting up in the morning, they don't want to hear politics.
Yeah.
I mean, they want to get ready to, whatever, have their cereal. On Sundays, it's called Lean Local with Jim Schmidt. And we really get, Johnny and I have people on for maybe 20 minutes, right? And I'll get them on for the full hour. And you can get pretty deep into some questions after that first 20 minutes. It's a lot of it's, some laughter, but it's really, and we dig pretty deep. And we've had the politicians on both sides of the aisle. And I enjoy that. I understand it. And I'm not a partisan guy at all, but I sure enjoy talking to them, and they're very honest with me too. And you can't really BS me because I've been 20 years in politics. Like you, right?
Yeah. You get a nose for it, I guess.
Right.
What without being particularly partisan, what do you think? Just in Northeast Wisconsin, Green Bay area, what's the top one or two things that people are really talking about right now that they're like, what the hell's going on here? Why aren't we getting more answers to this?
Well, I think it's like the whole state is. I think people are concerned about the budget. There's a lot of requests in that budget right now, and some people say, wait a minute, well, how can you say no to this? There's a surplus. And yet, on the other hand, you get different parties. They just ice something, as I just told you about an hour ago, that we're kind of hoping we would get. But look, I think people are concerned about that. I do think people don't like this partisanship, though. I will say that.
Agreed.
They just don't.
I travel over the state, and people are like, why don't they just get stuff done?
Right.
They don't say stuff. They say something else. And there's a lot of frustration.
And what hurts voters is that when you kind of vote for someone and send them there, and then they're not independent. I'm going to go down there, I'm going to fight the fight for you. And they get down there, and it's like, well, wait a minute. That's not what you told me. So it's a little frustrating, and that's what scares us a little bit. And is that they may turn voters off. And if people don't vote, then we're really in trouble. And that's why I think Sage is right with this community radio that he's got, because once people stop running for office and these guys go in, or these guys go in unopposed, their constituents become each other, and they forget about us. So we need to keep the issues on the front table and be respectful to both sides, but that's something we try to do.
I will say this, so you wouldn't think, at least I didn't pay much attention to politics. No. And actually, it's funny, sir. I used to host his re-election fundraising campaign.
Really?
Thing. Yeah.
That's what we meant.
Yeah. And I used to tell him, I sure voted for you, Jim. I'm sure voted for you. And then I made the mistake of telling him I lived in Alloway. We couldn't vote for the Green Bay.
All those years he's telling me, you're my guy, Jim.
You got my vote. You got my vote, boy. Put your
Never
name
voted
in.
for me.
Who's the real politician here?
Right.
I mean, come on. Well, guys, just a couple minutes left here. Again, I think, just my opinion, what we've lost in this state, in this country, is remembering that our neighbors aren't our enemies. They're our neighbors. And I think one of the things that you guys do so well every morning from 6 until 9 is you reconnect this part of the state and realize that we have more in common than we have not. And I just think it's great. Any plugs for coming up guests for next week?
We've been sitting here getting Monday's throat.
Yeah, we'll have the sheriff on. We're going to talk about him, and again, there's issues here. As much as we talked about, Todd was just talking about Packers and how great the arts are here. We have fentanyl problem, we have a homeless problem, and Todd's going to address that. We have a number of people coming in. We have some veterans.
Let me go. That'll be our typical show.
Find out in the mayor. You can hear him every morning, 6 until 9 on GPW and ISS. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you, Todd. Yep, always keep up the good work. Come on back. Let's get headlines after this. It's the Allbaugh Show live on location in Green Bay on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Yeah.
Hey, what?
Fantastic. Thank
Civic
you.
Media has a
Well,
number
really,
of
you got
jobs
auto radio
across
and
the
back
state
this
open now at
So I
reverse it, get you on ours one day?
/careers.
Sure, yeah. Anytime you want.
That'd be awesome.
This
No,
is
I
Chance speaking.
started in
Sometimes
high
I'm
school,
overwhelmed by the
at
hatred and
Parks Hill, which is now
misinformation
part
that
of the
consumes our world, but I also know that we cannot build a house of
Class
justice and
bill
inclusion
for
on a foundation of hatred and lies. We have to practice what we preach. At Chance Design Build, we confront injustice the same way we confront a poorly built home, with love, compassion, intelligence, and persistence. We engage our community the way we engage our clients. With
Conrad, does Todd have anyone on for these last few minutes?
Chad's Design Build.
Just after.
Remodel.
I don't believe so. I
Just
think
before me.
next up
Sorry,
is
sorry,
Lisa
sorry.
Hill.
But,
Okay, then can you turn
and
off your camera again?
for all those years.
Oh, yes.
And then
Thank you.
Sage wanted my old boss Dale Schultz to do a show, and we got live mics, so I'll have to clean up. But you were working for a Republican. Yeah. But I left the party at 11. I left the party because I was in those closed caucuses where they were literally talking about passing the voter ID bills, which were nothing more than voter suppression. And Mary Lozic stood up and said, hey, think what this could do in places like Milwaukee and college campuses, i.e. suppress the black, brown, and college vote. And I said, I'm not doing this anymore.
You should have been here that day, right outside here, the Elon Musk thing. It was the worst day of the year. Weather-wise, it was horrific. But you want to talk about people passion on both sides? And I live upstairs here, so I stood looking out the window and was like, this is like a nationwide thing that's happening right here.
It really is.
Yeah. So, I mean, politics have gotten in Green Bay a lot more
political. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you guys so much. All right, great to see you. All right, take care. Have a good day. Excuse me. Nicely done. Meet Charlie Pittman. Da, 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 da. Name that song.
District 2 black
Zomer,
and Hispanic
you know?
voters into District
What song?
1.
What was that?
Using the
Meet
chance
Charlie
a
Pittman.
black or
Da, da, da,
Hispanic
da, da,
candidate
da,
to
da,
be
da, da.
elected in District 2. Because the county
Conrad?
staggers election cycles for different
Go with
districts,
Sherry
it
Pittman.
also disenfranchised
I'm saying the wrong words. Charlie Pittman is our new news director, but it's to the tune of the old Jetsons cartoon. Meet George Jetson. Da, 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 da,
Oh,
da,
okay,
da,
yeah,
da,
now I
da.
hear it. Now I hear it.
The DRA and the 14th and 15th Amendments. The commissioners claim that they gerrymandered for political advantage. To which
There you go.
Do you want to come in with that?
Sure, why not? I don't care.
Why not? All right, here we go.
Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. Wouldn't it be great if that were our theme? The theme of the Jetsons, futuristic. Things are always moving fast and moving forward here at WGBW in downtown Green Bay, our great station here in Northeast Wisconsin. Many thanks to the hosts of Mino and the mayor, John Mino and Jim Schmidt, for being here in studio. You can hear them every morning from 6 until 9, locally at WGBW, Green Bay, and WISS in Oshkosh, and of course on the Civic Media app. How about that, Zommers? That's a way to start off a show.
It is. It is. Those guys are always a hoot. And
they're
not
got
just
a lot of energy.
They're fun. They have a lot of energy, but they're not just fun and have a lot of energy. They also have a lot of important stuff to talk about and bring on such a wide variety of people.
Yes, absolutely. So we many thanks to them. And the show is not over by any stretch of the imagination. Coming up in hour 2, Lisa Hale, one of the hosts of our news director up here, but also the new Wisco Weekend on Saturdays at 8 a.m. and Sunday at 11 a.m. She'll be here at 3:20 to talk about that great program based up here. And the one, the only, the host of Late Night Entertainment, Mr. Pete Schwaba, host of Nightlight, will be here in his own studio. And many thanks to him for coming in early. And many thanks to his great producer, Conrad, who is helping us out as well right now on the other side of this glass and hanging out with us. We appreciate you, Conrad. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. It's always fun being a part of the Todd Allbaugh Show.
Well, it's fun being up. You guys make me want to say I should relocate to Green Bay because it's a great vibe. I'm not kidding around. As Joe Biden says, I'm not kidding around here. I'm being serious. You got Todd Michaels, the great general manager of Green Bay and Oshkosh, and he's the voice of Civic Media, all of our great ads, or many of them. You hear his voice on there. You got Conrad, of course. You got Amanda, one of the other great producers up here in Green Bay. Eliza is originally from, I believe, Australia. Is
Correct.
That?
Yep. Yes.
And she has got an accent that will make you think you're talking to Adele. Even though I know Adele's not from Australia, but it's fantastic, and she's salty, a salty Australian, and I love every part about it. So we may have to work her into the show at some point in the future as well. So it's a great team up here.
Oh yeah, it's great, and she's a great addition to the team. She came on to Nightlight,
Oh,
and it was such a fun interview.
I bet it was.
Yes.
Somehow I missed that, but I'll have to go back and dial it up. But no, it's a lot of fun up here. And you all listening today and watching also on the stream can have a lot of fun. We're giving away about 5 minutes left. So please do this. This is really cool, folks. Text the word Bob, B-O-B, right now to the Civic Media app. Because what is up for grabs in our final day of the Scotty Summer Text to Win contest, we are giving a pair of tickets a deuce of tickets to the August 24th Milwaukee Brewer game on Sunday at 1:10 in the afternoon. It is a special game because this is the game where they're going to celebrate Bob Uecker's Celebration of Life, the longtime announcer, over 50 years behind the mic with Brewer baseball. So text the word Bob, B-O-B, right now, because somebody at the top of the hour, 4 minutes from now, the computer will randomly draw from just the entries in this hour. You're not going up against the big fan base of Mino and the Mayor or the big fan base of Pete Schwab and Nightlight. We can't compete with those guys. You understand? But just from our hour, we're going to, the computer will pick. So text the word Bob, B-O-B. And if you win, you and a lucky guest will be on your way to AmFam Field on August 24th for the Bob Uecker Celebration of Life game. You know, these are going to be sold out. These are people will be jacking them up to $150, $203. Go ahead.
I would be absolutely shocked if they are not sold out for that day.
Oh, yeah. No, they absolutely will be. And remember, these are the club level seats. These are not, your run-of-the-mill seats. This is the club level. They're fantastic seats. Zomer?
You could pretend you're rich and go and sneak into one of the suites. Just kidding. Don't do that. But
I've thought about that before.
I've thought about it too, especially when they have a food cart right outside of it. Right. It's like, no, this isn't worth getting kicked out of the game. Anyway, even if you don't win tickets today, stay tuned to the Civic Media Radio Network because after our Scotty Summer Text to Win contest is over, Free Ticket Friday will resume. And every Friday going forward for the rest of the season, you can win tickets by listening in as well.
And for those that don't know, Luke Mathers, by the way, Mathers was salty because I forgot to thank him by name at the end of the show yesterday. It was yesterday was the 12th. I'm not going to go into all the details, but we ended up here. We're going to do the show from Shawano yesterday, but a variety of internet gremlins so I had to speed over to the studios here at Green Bay. Todd Michaels helped save us, but also our great team in Madison, of which Luke Mathers, he helped host with Zommers at the beginning of the show, and I forgot to call him out by name. That's on me. I apologize. He was rather salty about it.
You had a lot on your mind.
So many thanks to Mathers, to Zommers, to Todd Michaels, and everybody else behind the scene that got us on the air today, and to Conrad as well. Less than 2 minutes left. Text the word Bob, B-O-B, right now to the Civic Media app. You might have time to download it and enter if you do it right now on your Apple or Android device. Open up the Civic Media app. The first 11 stations are ours. And click on that. You'll see text, and then click text, and then text the word Bob, B-O-B. In less than 2 minutes, we're going to draw, and somebody's going to be at that August 24th game for the Bob Uecker of Celebration of Life game. Really looking forward to giving that away and giving somebody a chance. Also, you'll be entered in for the big grand prizes, an extravaganza in either Door County or Baraboo Dells area. So all the really, really great prizes. Thanks to everybody who helped put the contest together. There will be another one coming back in the fall. But as Zomer said, we'll get back to giving away Brewers tickets on Free Friday Brewer Giveaway Extravaganza.
Free Ticket Friday is the simpler name.
By the way, this is a statewide contest.
Thank you, Todd.
We're up in Green Bay. The lawyers on the 12th floor are not near me, and so I'm not back at home, Conrad. The lawyers have a hot chair hooked up to my seat, and if I don't say statewide, they shock me. And sometimes I don't say it just so I can get shocked.
All right.
Anyway, come on back. We're going to play What's Worse. Lisa Hale will be here, and the great Pete Schwaba. Don't go anywhere. We are live on a TGIF Friday the 13th from Green Bay on the Civic Media Radio Network.
This is 92.7 WMDX Columbus, Madison's home for real news and great conversation.
Yeah, Tony says,
A
thanks for
civic
reminding
media
Aaron about it
station.
being statewide. Yeah, this time.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Michelle Franzen.
Tony says,
Across
thanks for
Israel, a
reminding
short
Aaron
time
about it
ago,
being statewide. Yeah, normally it's the other way around.
Yes,
incoming
always.
missiles.
Thank you
The
very
IDF
much,
says
Ken.
dozens of Iranian ballistic missiles targeting Israel were intercepted. Iran's response follows Israel's strikes, killing top Iranian military leaders and nuclear scientists, and also targeting uranium sites. ABC's Martha Raddatz says it marks a major escalation in the Middle East.
What you really have to watch for in these coming days is how serious Iran's assault is on Israel. Israel will respond in kind and even worse. So whatever the Iranians do right now,
All right,
whatever
we'll be right
they
back.
do in the coming days will be met with,
Me too.
with
I must use the
massive
bathroom.
force by the Israelis. So the Iranians have to take that into consideration.
At the White House, President Trump met with his national security team. Thousands of U.S. troops are stationed in the region. This is ABC News.
Your news, conversations, and a whole lot of fun. It's all on your local Civic Media radio station or the Civic Media app.
For 92.7 WMDX News, I'm Savannah Tomei Olson. The Capitol Rotunda echoed with applause for a longtime Wisconsin Supreme Court Justice last night. Shally Pittman and Joanne Krulotz have that story.
It's been a long journey from the old Swamp Inn to the rotunda of the state capitol.
Chief Justice Ann Walsh Bradley has spent 30 years on the Wisconsin Supreme Court. Bradley was the first woman elected to the state's top court without having first been appointed. She's the third woman on the court total, after Shirley Abrahamson and Janine Geske. Bradley and her colleagues reflected on her path to power at a ceremony at the Capitol on Thursday. There, they traced her roots in Richland Center to her time spent as a teacher to a legal profession that wasn't always welcoming to women.
She told us early on, and I'm quoting her, because the experiences of a woman are different, I will be bringing that socialization process with me, much like other judges who are hunters or fishers bring their experiences with them.
Her longtime friend, Christine Bremer Mogley. Over her long career, Bradley's participated in roughly 28,000 cases. She's heard thousands of oral arguments and authored roughly 600 opinions. But on Thursday, her focus wasn't on the past. It was on a warning about the rule of law.
The independence of the judiciary is not a partisan value. It is a constitutional imperative. We must make sure that those who speak thoughtfully about the role of courts and the rule of law are not silent.
Chief Justice Bradley's final day in the court is July 31st. Newly elected Susan Crawford will take the seat after her.
That's Shally Pittman reporting. I'm Savannah Tomei Olson, 92.7 WMDX News.
The Brewers battle the Cards. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. Baseball. Game 2 of the 4-game series tonight as the Crew hosts the Cardinals. Milwaukee with a 6-0 win last night thanks to the debut of 23-year-old Jacob Mizorowski on the mound, who lasted until the 6th before battling leg cramps.
Of course, I don't want to leave like that. I feel like I could have kept going, but, cramped up and stuff happens.
Manager Pat Murphy.
I think it just came on in between innings there. He had that long inning.
Tom,
He
where
thought
did
it
you
was
get there?
okay. He went out there. It's in his thigh and in his calf, and he twisted his ankle a little bit on that. Started to lock up on him. We just didn't want to chance anything,
NFL Packers minicamp wrapping up in Green Bay.
The thing that's most positive, I would say, for the most part, we had pretty good attendance. We had the majority of our guys here for the duration, and I think that it's been fun to kind of watch how these guys grow, especially guys maybe going in their second year. They're so much further along than they were a year ago.
That's Packers head coach Matt LaFleur with Sports on Mike Clemens.
This report is brought to you by Freedom Fireworks, with 20 locations throughout southeastern Wisconsin. FreedomFireworksWI.com.
Mixed skies today with mild highs making it to the upper 70s. Still got a breezy east wind and, of course, chances of showers and maybe a small storm later this afternoon. Then tomorrow, plenty of sunshine and warm temperatures scraping 80 degrees. I'm meteorologist Brittany Merlot. It's 73 degrees at our studios.
The 4th of July is right around the corner, and Freedom Fireworks has everything your family needs for a safe and exciting holiday celebration. With 20 southeastern Wisconsin locations fully stocked up with everything from sparklers to artillery shells, thunder snaps to 500-gram aerials, Freedom Fireworks guarantees to bring smiles and cheers to every backyard celebration. For fireworks from all the top brands and specials that can't be beat, go to freedomfireworkswi.com for a location near you. Freedom Fireworks wishes you a safe and happy 4th of July.
The Maggie Dawn Show.
Mark Summerhauser, the communications director for the Wisconsin Policy Forum, analyzing the impacts of the big brutal bill.
That number that you mentioned, nearly $15,000
What?
per person, literally about a quarter of the state's economy.
What were you were gonna ask me something?
A quarter of the state's economy coming from the federal government.
Well, now we have 30 seconds, so sorry about that.
That's fine. Oh, I don't know. Do you have the list of winners of any of the contestant winners?
On location, it's the Todd Allbaugh Show. And now, pursuing truth wherever it may lead, here's your host, Todd Allbaugh.
Civic Media Radio Network and streaming worldwide on the Civic Media app. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Todd Allbaugh, along with Mr. Aaron Zommers, our producer and engineer, back at the world headquarters in downtown Madison. It is 6 minutes past the hour of 3 o'clock. Welcome into hour number 2 of the big broadcast. It is Friday the 13th. That's right, June 13th, 2025. It's a great day to be Wisconsinite. It's okay. We had all of our bad luck yesterday.
Yes,
on the,
exactly.
On the 12th.
we front-loaded it.
Are you a believer? I'm not sure if we talked about this before, Zommers. Are you a superstitious person?
Not particularly.
No.
I feel like most stuff we can explain, we eventually are able to explain. But also, sometimes crazy stuff happens, and
yes,
I don't know. I don't have specific superstitions or anything like that, but I am open to the possibility.
We are fortunate to have co-producers here on the show today. The great producer Conrad of Nightlight with Pete Schwaba, who will be on the broadcast at the bottom of this hour. Conrad, are you a superstitious person by nature?
I don't think Todd Michaels is going to like this because he's a paranormal investigator.
Yes,
but
that's what I was gonna say, yeah.
I don't believe.
Really?
I don't. I
Not
think
at
there's no, not really.
Wow. I kind of do. I think
I want to talk with Todd
I believe
Michaels.
in spirits. I believe in spirits, and I guess thereby ghosts as well. I'm not. I'm the jury's still out on like alien people, but I don't know. I guess I'm open to it. But superstitious.
I definitely think they're aliens.
Yeah, I'm not particularly superstitious, but as my grandma Allbaugh used to say, she'd spill salt on the table. And she'd pick it up and throw some over her shoulder. And I'd say, Grandma, are you because she was a very religious woman. I'd say, Grandma, are you superstitious? And she'd say, no, but it doesn't hurt just to check. The fact is she was very superstitious. We were once driving one time, and a black cat went across the highway in front of us. And she said, oh, my land, it's a black cat. She was very superstitious. She was religious and she was superstitious. All right, coming up, as we said, the aforementioned at the bottom of the hour, Mr. Pete Schwaba, host of the great program along with Conrad. Nightlight here on Civic Media is based out of this great studio in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Pete is going to be in. We'll talk a little bit about some music people that we lost this week. Beach Boys. I mean, not the entire Beach Boys, but
Brian Wilson.
Brian Wilson. That would have been tragic if all the Beach Boys had died together. That's not
on an airplane or something.
Yeah,
that tends to happen, or at least it used to.
Well, let's not wish anybody any bad luck. Speaking of being superstitious, Brian Wilson. We'll talk about that. We'll find out what's coming up on Nightlight tonight, and also kind of get Pete's take on entertainment and life around Green Bay. Because as we talked with Mino and the mayor, we love our Packers, but there's so much more in Green Bay than just the Packers. Although, Conrad, you went to the draft this year.
I did. And just to remind you, Pete is a Bears fan, actually.
I forgot about that. Thank you. Yes,
Yes.
he is a Chicago boy.
Yes. But the draft was a lot of fun. I was about 11 rows back, and I had a big group of around like 8 people with me.
Wow.
So it was a lot of fun. We stayed from, I think we got there at 3 p.m. The draft didn't start till 7 or around there. So we were standing for like 7 hours, something around there.
Drinking water.
Yes. Once you got packed in there, they stopped having people come around getting on.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if you wanted to get a drink, you'd probably lose your spot.
True, right?
So we kind of just said, well, we're here now.
You were there when Golden got drafted?
Yes.
That had to be really cool.
It was so loud.
Really?
It was so loud. But after that pick, we immediately went back to my apartment.
Really?
Yes. We were done
the
standing.
Experience.
We're done standing. We need some water.
All right, very good. Also coming up on this half hour, Lisa Hale, who does the news up here, the news director of Northeast Wisconsin, but she's also one of the hosts of New Wisco Weekend. Great program talking about life in this part of the state. She'll be along talking about that at 3:20. But right now it's 10 minutes past the hour of 3 o'clock. Time once again for What's Worse. Let's go.
This or that, this or that. Then, of course, the choice is yours. You can get with this or you can get with that.
Time once again for What's Worse. No prize money involved, nothing to give away, but it is your chance to have your voice heard across all 11 news, talk, sports stations in the Civic Media Radio Network, the largest news, talk, sports, and the largest radio network in Wisconsin behind only Wisconsin Public Radio. A great organization, but we're proud to have all of our 11 stations. No better way to get your message out, your business advertised than on Civic Media. Go to civicmedia.us to find out how you can be one of our great partners. All right. Timely indeed. Conrad's already ahead of us on this one. He is drinking soda.
What kind?
Conrad?
It is a Coke Zero.
And here, thus,
that might answer his question.
Thus, the debate ensues. Today's category: what's worse, soda or diet soda? Soda or diet soda? 855-752-4842. 855-752-4842. You can also text us on the Civic Media app. I know some parts of Wisconsin is pop. Give me a pop. But I grew up mostly, I don't know, I was really young. We had a double cola bottling. My dad worked there in Richland Center. The bottled double cola and Ski. The great Hank Clarson owned that. And Conrad, you ever had Ski?
I don't think so.
Zomer, Ski?
Nope.
Oh. There's a debate on those people like in Shawano, where my dad and stepmom are at, home of Sundrop, of course. Sundrop is similar to Ski and Mountain Dew. I would say if I put, and this is going to be very unpopular in this neck of the woods, if I put a Sundrop, a Mountain Dew, and a Ski together, I'm going for the Ski every time. It's really good stuff.
I've never had it, but I would go with Sundrop over Mountain Dew.
Really?
Conrad? Oh, yeah. Sundrop is amazing.
It's great stuff. It is. So soda or diet soda? 855-752-4842. 855-752-4842. Our very own Tony Zimmerman watching on YouTube says, diet pop is awful and absolutely the worst. So there you go. There's Tony, very emphatic on this. Cam
the polar opposite in the text line.
Yeah, Cam in Appleton says, I will die on this hill. Regular pop is rancid and diet pop is life. Wow. That's something else. 855-752-4842. 855-752-4842. What's worse?
By the way,
soda or diet soda?
Lisa Hale in the green room with a diet soda. Want to bring her on early?
Sure, why not? Why not? We can ask her if she's ready to go. Join us via StreamYard. Lisa, our great news director here in the northeast part of the state. What's worse, soda or diet soda?
Absolutely, soda is the worst. Wow. Hands down. I mean, you can get, of course, I'm addicted to Diet Coke. I have to say that straight out. I mean, you're talking to somebody who drinks at least 4 bottles of it a day.
Really?
Wow.
Right.
It's an addiction, y'all. When
I was like in middle school or high school, I drank way too many Mountain Dews, and my mom actually cut me off. It was a good thing, and so I go through phases right now. I mean, I've tried to cut back soda in my life, but I don't know. Aaron, watching on YouTube, says diet soda is worse. Tastes like Splenda sugar.
No, 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 no. Actual soda, the fully leaded, the fully sugared, the corn syrup or whatever, it just tastes way too sweet to me. I'm so
Really?
used to diet that's where I'm gonna go.
That's
And
fascinating.
Coke Zero is too sweet. It's got to be
All right.
Diet Coke. Now that might just be my brain, but
Cam in Appleton says Lisa and I are aspartame winning. So there you go. All right. Greg in Genesee Depot listening to WAUK says soda is worse. Also, Jackie in Menominee Falls is on the line. Jackie, thanks for calling in. 855-752-4842. Jackie, soda or diet soda? What's worse?
Diet soda is worse. Soda is better. I think diet soda, they pack it with that stuff that they're trying to ban right now. That's why I don't like diet soda. I think it's not got regular ingredients in it. They got to make up for it somehow. I don't know how else to explain it. I just don't like diet. It also doesn't taste good.
I hear you. Thanks. Appreciate it, Jackie. I'm Menominee Falls. Thanks for calling in. 855-752-4842. Let's go to the North Woods. Ollie in the North Woods. Ollie, soda or diet soda? What's worse?
Well, at the risk of sounding like a Debbie Downer, they're both equally bad for your teeth. But I do drink diet soda.
Right. Well, if you have to drink one, probably in some ways healthier, right? All right. I appreciate it. I'll have a great weekend up there in the beautiful North Woods. Checking in on YouTube, Tony says, I have replaced pop almost entirely with bubbler. Way less sugar, but still not better. Yeah, bubbler, I was introduced to that years ago. Not years ago, but 4 or 5 years ago. Little sister Heather, listening over in Shawano today on Facebook, says as a type 1 diabetic, regular soda is a killer. Honestly, I drink more fizzy water now. I need a bit of a carbonation sometimes. Well, don't we all? Don't we all need a bit of a carbonation? She says, although a Diet Coke from McDonald's once in a while is very good. That's a great debate, you guys. Coke from a McDonald's is still probably the best Coke aside from Mexican Coke, because Mexican Coke, which is bottled in Mexico, is made with cane sugar and not this fructose corn syrup or whatever.
Yes, agreed. Hard agreed.
Thoughts, panel, Lisa?
totally agree. If I get a Diet Coke from McDonald's, I know it is going to be the best ever of all time. But
Conrad?
I gotta go with Diet. I love Diet Coke as well.
Yeah. But from McDonald's, do you think McDonald's Coke is better?
Yes, and I'll say this too: their Sprite is the best Sprite too.
It
See,
is.
I think they put something extra in it.
They do.
Joseph
They legitimately, yeah.
Joseph watching on YouTube says, in my honest opinion, it's brand and sweetener dependent. The best is sugar cane sweetened. I agree. Don't care for corn syrup sweetened. Some diet pop is just okay. Coke Zero, Dr. Diet Pepper are not that great. Well, Lisa and Conrad would disagree. But
Well, I think he was saying that those are good, or at least okay, but most other ones are not.
All right, sorry. I'm reading several different screens here. I apologize. But,
well, I will tell you, every morning I come into work with a Diet Coke, a cup of coffee, and a glass of water. So
wow.
Yeah.
Now, that's why the news is so spicy up here in Northeast Wisconsin.
Yeah,
it is caffeine fueled. What's worse, soda or diet soda? 855-752-4842. 855-752-4842. Zommers, did you say already?
I did not. I think it's a tough one for me because I'm just not much of a soda drinker in general. Didn't grow up drinking much of it. It was always a rare thing. I think that I'm more used to the taste of regular soda, but diet soda, I don't feel as bad after drinking it.
So
I don't know.
what's worse?
I'm still going to say diet soda is worse just because I'm not used to it.
My panel will not be happy with me, but there is only one correct answer. Diet soda is worse because it's I don't like the diety taste. I don't like the made up of sugar cane, real cane sugar in Hawaii. growing in the sun. CNH. We're going to come back, talk to Lisa Hale, talk about her great weekend program, and more. We're live from WGBW Green Bay on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Real news and great conversation.
Very good. Very good. Well done, everyone.
WMDX.
Escape to the hidden gem of the Midwest, Chula Vista Resort. Relax with modern comfort.
Tony says, nailed it, Todd. You don't have to explain yourself when you're right.
Wrong, though. Diet Coke for the win. When I die, they will have to put it on my tombstone. You know, she loved Diet Coke. That would be it.
That's great. I love it.
You know Hall's Breezers, like the throat drops?
Yes.
Years ago, I introduced those to my grandma because she was coughing from, I don't know, some dust in her house that she hadn't gotten to clean up yet. And I was like, you should try these. They work really well. And then she swore by them for everything and would talk about them almost daily after that. And so we buried her with a pack of Breezers.
Really? That's funny.
That is great. That is great.
Do you want to take one more What's Worse phone call?
Yeah, if you got one, sure. We'll do that quick.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that is Pete in Dane County on the line.
Pete. All right. Thank you.
Prairie. Wait, 4 locations. That's a high level of convenience. With 3 Madison locations and now Sun Prairie, a great cannabis experience is always close by. Our expert staff is here to help.
Any song you'd like to use, Lisa?
Fat Bottom Girls.
And get a special discount. So stop by Herbal Aspect in Sun Prairie because great cannabis isn't just a pipe dream. Nice. I'm rolling over now. Herbal Aspect.
When I was a classic rock disc jockey, that was my theme song. Everybody knew.
That's hilarious.
It's a great tune.
It is a great tune.
They treat your property like their own. 608-209-2185 for expert care and a vibrant tomorrow.
You know Ignite Glass and Gifts 3 locations in Madison, but you can also shop igniteglassandgifts.com. You'll find grinders.
Oh, you like him visiting Green Bay there, Todd?
I always love visiting Green Bay. It's a
I need to visit
beautiful
the studio.
place, and the people are even better than that. So I always have a great time up here.
Darn
20 seconds.
All right. Thank you.
Oh, you gonna take me home tonight? Oh, down beside that red firelight. Oh, you gonna let it all hang out? Fat bottom girls, you make the rockin' world go round.
Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show. We are live on location in Green Bay, Wisconsin, WGBW on the Civic Media Radio Network. It is now 22 minutes past the hour of 3 o'clock. That is by request by our next guest. I don't need any snotty feedback at signs. I did not pick. Lisa, I wouldn't give half my troubles to a monkey on a rock, to quote David Letterman. So that was your requested song, right, Lisa?
Yes. I requested that. Fat Bottom Girls used to be my theme song back when I was a classic rock disc jockey. So
it's a great song, as you said.
It is. It is.
It's fantastic. I'll talk to Elisa in just a second here. Cleaning up a couple of things in aisle 2. First of all, one last call on our What's Worse. We go to the phone lines, and to Sun Prairie we go, listening on WMDX. Pete, not Schwaba, but Pete. I don't think so anyway, but wouldn't that be a surprise if Pete Schwaba was in Sun Prairie? Pete in Sun Prairie, what's worse, soda or diet soda? Pete? Are you there? Pete is not there.
It seems we have lost Pete.
Doc is here. Doc is not there. All right. Well, fine. Too bad, Pete. Sorry about that. You lost your chance. Also, clean up in aisle 2. A caller, namely my mother, wants to know, Zommers, do we ever tell who wins the tickets? We do. Do we get that list, Zommers, of some of the winners for the big giveaway thing?
Yeah, I'll see if I can. I will see if I can find that list. Or rather, I will find that list by our next segment.
All right, very good. All right, joining us via StreamYard right now, she is the Northeast Wisconsin Bureau Chief of Civic Media News and also the host of a great program every weekend here in Green Bay called New Wisco Weekend on Saturdays at 8 a.m. and Sunday at 11 a.m. She is Lisa Hale. Lisa, thanks for being on.
Absolutely. I'm so glad to join you. And I have to say, it does my heart good to know that your mama listens
Oh, she does.
and texts you during the show. My mama used to do that too. She would listen constantly. And if
Really?
I messed up, though, she would let
Oh,
me
yeah.
know.
Usually mom says, well, I got to listen to your show because you don't call me enough. I don't know what's going on. It's true, actually.
The only way I know my son is alive is to listen on the
Yeah,
radio.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your great show, New Wisco Weekend. How'd you come to put it together and tell folks what it's about?
New Wisco Weekend is kind of like an audio magazine. So imagine that you're going to the store, you pick up a magazine, and how you open it up, you've got little articles here, there, and yonder, but there's always usually a cover story. And that's kind of how we do New Wisco Weekend. It is a news magazine with different feature stories, and we have a cover story every week, which is usually a longer form interview or a longer form story. And it's a really good way for us to get a little bit more in depth to some of the stories that we tell, get a little bit more detail, get a little bit more fun. And we do try to keep them very positive and very upbeat. You know, each magazine or each show has a theme. Like this coming weekend is Flag Day because it's Flag Day Saturday. And our cover story is an interview I did with Fly Me Flag, which is Stacy Stewart up there in Green Bay. She has a store in Green Bay. She supplies flags to municipalities and to the governments and businesses, and she's considered a flag expert. So we have her on as our cover story this week. And then we have a little, we have Amanda Nimmer. I tried to combine her name and Aaron's there, but Amanda Nimmer is our commentator. So this is going to date me a little bit. Imagine Andy Rooney, but a millennial female.
I love it.
That's our Amanda.
We just played a clip of Andy Rooney's from 20 years ago on when he did on D-Day, which was really, really good.
Yes. And, Amanda can be serious sometimes, but she can also be very funny sometimes, just like Andy Rooney could be. She's a modern day Irma Bombeck, if you will. So, again, that dates me so badly. So we've got her and we've got all sorts of fun things.
I've listened to it, and it's very interesting. And just like Mino and the Mayor, many of the great shows, all the great shows, are based in either Green Bay or Oshkosh. If you don't live in the greater Fox Valley, as they say, you could still listen on the Civic Media app. Just download it for free at your Apple or Android device, and then go to WGBW or WISS and listen in. And of course, everybody can listen to the podcast version on civicmedia.us. I think this is really great, Lisa. I'm so glad you guys started this because even though I don't live up here, I get up here a lot because parents live in Shawano, but I find it enormously entertaining and interesting living in Madison.
Well, we don't just, even though it's called New Wisco Weekend, and we do try to focus in on the Fox Valley, on the greater Green Bay area, we also have correspondence and stories that come from central Wisconsin. Wausau and Wisconsin Rapids send me stories all the time that we use. Down in Richland Center, Joanne Krulatz helps us out. So, we get stories from all over that we use on the magazine. And I think it really works out. Melissa Kay, Brittany Merlot, Joanne Krulatz, Conrad Krieger, Amanda Nimmer, myself, and Terry Barr. We are a great team, and I'm really proud of the show.
You should be, because like I say, it reminds me of the old Discover Wisconsin show. I guess not old, but I mean, it's still on. There used to be a show called PM Magazine years and years ago. Maybe Schwabo will remember that. And it was focused on the state, but it has those kind of vibes. And just like we talked about Mino and the Mayor, Yeah, I think there's a place for political discourse, and we can have discussions about our disagreements. I think that's healthy. We do that on this show. But I also, and this we try to do some of this on our show, but your show on New Wisco Weekend, it's about so many of the things that bring us together and unite us as Wisconsinites. And I think that's also really healthy in these times.
It is very healthy in these times. And I try to avoid getting into so much politics
Right.
because it can be so negative. So we try
Lisa,
to
can you
keep
stick
it
around a little bit? Crossover with Schwab and I in the next episode or next episode? Next bit? All right, very good. Lisa's going to stick around. We got Conrad, we got Zommers, we got Schwab in the wings. Don't go anywhere. We're live from Green Bay at the Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Great conversation, 92.7 WMDX. You can always continue the conversation
Really
on
good stuff,
social
Lisa.
media.
Really good, really good.
Share your thoughts when you find and follow Civic Media on Facebook, X, and Instagram.
The National Farm Medicine Center was established in 1981 in response to occupational health problems seen in farm patients coming to the Marshfield Clinic. I'm Charity Seebecker for the Midwest Farm Report, and outreach specialist Melissa Pluckelman shares more about their recent research they've been doing.
Right now, the research that we've done is just looking at medical records of youth, so we're talking ages 9 to 17, who have come into a medical facility for purposes of suicide. So we've looked at the numbers, we've looked at the reports, and what we know is what I just stated, that farm children are less likely to have suicidality or suicidal thoughts. We don't know exactly why yet. That'll be the next stage of research.
Once again, that's Melissa Pluckelman with the National Farm Medicine
There
Center.
he is, star of
I'll have a
stage
look at your
three,
closing
Mr.
markets
Pete
right
Schwaba.
after this.
There goes Pam Yankee across Wisconsin in her suburban truck. Thanks to Equity Livestock Cooperative. Marketing your livestock, financing your operation,
Yeah,
and supporting the
like
livestock community
20
since
minutes
1922. And to Cleary Building Corp. Cleary Building Corp. Built with pride before the shamrock is applied. Explore clearybuilding.com today. Keep up with Pam at MidwestFarmReport.com and on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, it was weird.
Loss of appetite, drop in milk production, and
Civic
dehydration
Media
are all
Technology.
key indicators of HPAI or bird flu.
Yeah, I think
This
you're right.
disease is a threat to cattle health. And
All right,
farmers'
Lisa's going to
bottom
join us for the first couple minutes, wrap up
protect
with
your
her,
herd
and then we'll
reduce the
cross
spread.
over. It's like a
Keeping animals
crossover
hydrated
show, everybody.
you just
tell
No,
me
you hang out. We'll
key
all
electrolytes
be
for
together.
livestock.
It'll be a
Our
big
direct-fed
kumbaya
microbial
session.
products support digestive health and appetite.
I don't know if you can see on the stream, but I think Aaron did something to your name there.
What what did he do? Oh, Peach Waba.
Where is that?
I'm
Peach
Charity
Waba.
Seebecker for the Midwest Farm Report with a look
Just
at
a little
your
AI
Friday
spelling there, that's
closing
all.
markets. Cash
I was
corn
gonna
closed at
bring in. I was gonna try to
444.5.
get like an
That was
artist to
up
do me
6
like
cents.
a
And new crop corn
potato,
closed at
like a real
443.
A couch potato, yeah.
2.5
potato, yeah.
cents.
That's
But
funny.
Cash
it didn't
beans
happen.
closed at 10.69 3/4. That was up 27.5 cents. And new crop beans closed at 10.54 3/4, and that was also up 27.5 cents. And July wheat closed at 5.43 3/4, and that was up 17.25 cents. On the dairy side of things now, July Class 3
Today
milk
was great.
contract
I mean,
is
my God, we
trading
got
at
Conrad, we got
18.14 a hundredweight.
had Amanda
That is
here
down
earlier, we
6
had all,
cents.
Mino
And
and the mayor,
August
we got
Class
Lisa,
3
we got
milk
you, and
contract
it's
is trading at
a blessing of guests
18.83 a
and a
hundredweight.
embarrassment of riches.
And that is up 2
So
cents.
this is great. Yesterday was
40-pound block
crazy
cheese
because
closed
I was going to do
today
this
at
show in
183
Shawano,
3/4.
and then
That was down
everything
a quarter.
went to hell
And
with
the
the
double A
internet.
butter
So I'm
closed
driving
up
over here
2.5
because I think we're
cents today
hardwired
and
in,
closed at
and then we find out,
2.57.
oh no,
For the
actually
Midwest
that
Farm
never got
Report,
done.
I'm
And
Charity
so poor Tom
Seebecker.
Michaels had to drive up from Oshkosh.
Enjoying this local
and
program?
help save
Find the
us,
complete
and got us
Civic
on the
Media
air,
lineup
along
at
with him and engineers
civicmedia.us
and
or
everybody
the
else.
Civic Media.
Yeah, I
So-
take partial responsibility because I thought
Mixed
that the
skies
studios,
today
like
with
I
mild
was
highs
incorrect about how
making
the
it to the
studios
upper
work.
70s.
Oh, that's all right.
Still
What?
got a breezy east wind, and of course,
Well,
chances of showers and maybe a small
Luke and
storm later
Zommers
this afternoon.
vamped. We
And
tried
tomorrow,
to do it
plenty
over
of
the
sunshine
phone as
and
I was
warm
driving
temperatures
in on
scraping 80
29,
degrees.
but the phone
I'm
wasn't working
meteorologist
right
Brittany
either.
Merlot.
It was
Right
cutting out.
now, it's
So
75
they did
degrees.
the A block, and by the 19 after I was on here.
Doctors Without
As tends to
Borders is
happen
delivering
with
life-saving
stuff
medical
like this,
care
anytime
where
there's a
it's needed
technical
most
issue,
in
Todd sounded
communities
fine on the phone before the show, and then as soon as we actually started the show, he starts cutting out.
Clean drinking water in Haiti. We're in more than 70 countries worldwide, bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from crisis to care. This life-saving care is made possible by a global movement of supporters like you. Thank you.
Nightlight with Pete Schwaba.
The soap scientists have found a way to incorporate Sydney Sweeney's actual bath water into the soap. What if she doesn't smell good? I know she's
What
beautiful.
if it smells
What if she
terrible?
stinks? And no one is going to tell her that because she's Sydney Sweeney. Here's an open invitation to Sydney Sweeney. Come by the Nightlight Studios. I'll smell you and let you know if this is a good product.
Maybe drop off,
And give us a few bucks.
Yes, Nightlight with Pete Schwaba.
All right, 20 seconds.
Welcome back to the Allbaugh Show across Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network. It is now 35 minutes past the hour of 3 o'clock here. Glad to have you along live from Green Bay, WGBW Studios here in downtown Green Bay. As we're wrapping up our show for today on the roads. So many great people. Lisa Hale, the Bureau Chief of Civic Media News here in Northeast Wisconsin, and also the host of the great program on the weekends, New Wisco Weekend, joins us via StreamYard. And here in the Pete Schwaba Studios, the one, the only, the host of Nightlight every evening from 6 until 8, Pete Schwaba is here. How are you?
I'm great, Todd. Great to be here with you, buddy. Thanks for inviting me. I kind of had to come in here anyway, so I hope you didn't feel like obligated.
No,
like
I felt bad asking you to come in early, but it's always great to have you here.
No, it's great to be here. I said in my text to you, if Todd Allbaugh asks, I say how high.
You're too kind. You're way too kind, my friend.
There's more to that.
Lisa, before we let you go, I just wanted to wrap up. And again, people can hear your great program over the air on WGBW and WISS in Oshkosh every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. and on Sundays at 11 a.m. They can also hear it via the Civic Media app if you tune into GBW or ISS, and of course at civicmedia.us as well. What's coming up on the big program this weekend?
Well, as I said, it's Flag Day. So our cover story is Fly Me Flag in Green Bay. We've got a story on the Oshkosh Farmers Market. We've got some stories on, excuse me, I feel like I have to cough. We have stories on reckless driving on the Jolly Roger. That's what Amanda did her commentary on this year, since it's a flag, the Jolly Roger. And, Pete Schwaba is part of New Wisco Weekend. Yeah.
Schwaba is part of this?
True.
I didn't even plan this.
I'm the only one who contributes who got a signing bonus. I probably shouldn't say that on the air, but
no, you
yes,
shouldn't.
I am very proud to be part of the show. Lisa's phenomenal. It's a great show. Yeah.
It really is. It really is.
Gives us a classic cinema pick every week, and he does a very good job of tying it to the theme somehow.
I try.
He does.
Is it going to be like a patriotic pick this week for Flag Day?
Well, it was Flag Day, and I was looking for obviously flag football movies, but there aren't many of those out there.
No.
So I just went with the actual Flag Day.
Oh, all right. All right. Well, looking forward in nervous anticipation to this. Lisa, is there anything I have not asked you so far you'd like to share with our audience about New Wisco Weekend or events happening here in Northeast Wisconsin?
Oh, there's so much I could talk about, but I just say tune into New Wisco Weekend, whether you get it off of a podcast through our website, civicmedia.us, or hear it live on the air. It's a great magazine show, and I think you'll enjoy it.
I certainly do, and I would encourage all of our listeners to check it out as well. You and your team do a great job of putting this together. Thank you for all you do. I know you've joined us before at election nights as well. Lisa Hale, you're part of what makes Wisconsin great, being a part of our great news team all across Wisconsin, but also bringing us these great programs on focusing on Wisconsin culture and things that might get overlooked, but we should all be aware of. So thank you so much, and thank you for taking time to join us today.
Absolutely. I appreciate you, and I'm happy to be here.
Thank you, Lisa. Lisa Hale, everybody. We'll talk to her soon. A host of New Wisco, Wisconsin, or New Wisco Weekend, pardon me, and also our Northeast Wisconsin Civic Media News Bureau Chief. Again, here we are in the Schwaba Studios in downtown Green. I almost feel like I'm on Nightlight because I got Pete to my left, and you've got your great producer Conrad on the other side of the glass, fixing himself a nice gin and tonic before the show, which I think is fantastic.
Calms him down. It's a little intimidating being here, isn't it, Todd? Even to a radio veteran as yourself.
No, I just always feel like I'm at home, and it's always a lot of fun. Because you have beautiful facilities up here. The one of two Civic Media studios that have a shower. This one and Hayward.
Oh, Hayward, we have two, by the way.
Yes,
so not
well,
to
you're
raise
the only one
bar.
that has two.
Yeah, we need the showers more here. Apparently, we've got serious body odor.
I've
issues.
showered at the one in Hayward when I
Really?
covered the Birkenbeiner, but never showered here.
Interesting.
So maybe I'll shower after the show.
It's weird. Like if you were caught showering here, it might seem strange. Like if I thought I'm gonna go in there and shower, and somebody walked in,
right.
I'd probably feel like a little pervy or something. And why would I? There's a shower there. I should be able to use it, but I feel like I can't.
And well, there's no curtain on them.
Well,
that's part of it. Yeah.
That's part of the fun of
That's part of
showering
the
though
fun.
without
That's
a
right.
curtain. You never know.
The risk.
Exactly.
It makes it a little edgy.
Exactly.
All right. Well, tell us if you've been on before. We always appreciate it. For those that might not know, your program follows Maggie Dawn's every evening from 6 until 8. It's a great show, Pete. It really
Thank
is.
you.
I enjoy it. It's a great way to wind down the day.
Yeah, I think that was our goal, and it's always fun when you're on. You always make it so much fun. And I was so busy today beforehand. I was thinking, what can I do to to make my entrance or my appearance here rival when you come on my show? And the only thing, I was pressed for time, so I thought black socks and sandals for Father's
look
Day.
at that. Beautiful. Well done.
I've got the black socks, but I don't own sandals. And I was like, I would have had to go to Goodwill to get a pair of like old time sandals.
Go with my nieces. They're big thrifters.
Oh, really?
Oh, it's all the rage now. The kids love the thrifting. But that just proves my point, Pete Schwaba. You're cool enough. You don't need a gimmick. A schlep like me, it's like the old gypsy. If you're gonna bump it with a trumpet. You gotta have a gimmick if you're gonna get ahead. That's the line from Gypsy. Where you're big enough, you've been an actor, you've been a writer, you've been a producer, you're a host on PBS. You got your own show here. You don't need a gimmick, Pete Schwaba.
Well, you're very nice, but I'm also still kind of learning radio, and you're like one of the guys I kind of listen to, going in and out of breaks. And yeah, you steered me wrong a couple times, but Conrad has my back and rallies.
That's good.
No, it's I've done all those things, and I've also been a garbage man.
You have?
I have.
I did not know this.
Yeah, after my freshman year in college, I got a job with the city of Marinette. I went home for the summer, and they offered me a job as a street surveyor with another college with a college girl. So we would measure streets, and that was our job. And here I am. Here's how stupid young people are. I'm like, oh man, I'm going to show them I'm a go-getter. And we measured this. We had every street measured within like 2.5 weeks. The job was supposed to last all summer.
Really?
Here's what hard work gets you. They stuck me on a garbage truck. They made her do filing, and I had to empty bad meat and milk out of people's garbage cans. It was disgusting. It was horrible.
You could have spent the summer measuring with a hot chick, and instead you're stuck in a garbage truck.
I know. What is the matter with me? Like that's why you have to take, when older people give you advice, folks, you have to take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Because if I had just kind of coasted, which is what people do now, nobody believes in hard. It's like, why am I busting my butt trying to? And it was horrible. And then all the city workers hated me, because I was a college kid. And then there was another guy.
Don't make us look bad, dude.
No, exactly. So it was a brutal summer. But you know what? It taught me not to work hard. So that something good did come out of it, I think.
See, that's why I'm a procrastinator, because oftentimes things will just take care of themselves.
Right. Exactly.
Some days I wake up and my sister, who sometimes has traveled with me for this show, and some days she goes, well, what's your show about today? I'm like, I'm not sure. And you wake up and there's not a show, and then something will happen. I'm like, now you got a show.
Right.
That's the beauty of it.
And if you had worked hard the night before, you wouldn't have been able to watch that Three Is Company marathon on Nick at night.
Exactly. Exactly.
It all works out.
We're talking with Pete Schwaba. He is the host of the fantastic program Nightlight every evening on this radio network from 6 until 8. Pete, let's talk a little bit of entertainment. Big week, unfortunately, in bad ways for music. We lost Sly Stone. I was listening to Matt Air with our great friend Jane Matt.
Yeah.
And as she rarely does, but I always do, she stumbled over words and she said, we lost Sly Stallone this week. I'm like, what? I didn't hear that part.
That would have been an easier one to take.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But no, Sly Stone, and then we lost Brian Wilson, really the voice, the brains, if I can, behind the Beach Boys.
Yeah, that was a bit. I mean, they were both in their 80s. It wasn't like they weren't tragic losses, but still losses. And it makes you, I mean, to me, I just watched the Sly Lives documentary recently. That guy, I mean, Sly Stone was such a visionary, and I had no idea. Like, I liked his music. I thought he was this charismatic guy. I knew nothing, though, about how influential he was to people like Prince and the Red Hot Chili Peppers and Stevie Wonder, and just a phenomenal talent. And then Brian Wilson too. That guy was like the voice of a generation, so to speak. And another thing I didn't know about Brian Wilson until I was probably in my 30s was that he was considered a musical genius. Like, their music sounds so easy and carefree, and it's like, oh yeah, they just sing about. No, he was a phenomenal musician and absolutely brilliant. So 2 huge losses in the music world.
It really was. And to your point, I mean, I knew who Brian Wilson was, but I'm a big fan of Anthony Mason at CBS, who's done a lot of stuff for CBS Sunday Morning. He's really a true music entertainment guy.
Yeah.
And they replayed this week an interview that he had done with Brian Wilson some years back. And I didn't realize how much Paul McCartney in particular, but the Beatles really respected and looked up to Brian Wilson, and they released the Sgt. Pepper album after the album. Yeah.
Because just to chime in here, the Beatles had a legendary pioneering production team. So did the Beach Boys because of Brian Wilson. Like, if you look at the song "Good Vibrations," that one alone took, if I recall, like $70,000 and like 8 months of studio recording across the country in 4 or 5 different studios to record the one song.
Wow.
It's crazy.
But when I heard that Paul McCartney looked up to Brian Wilson, I mean, you know the guy has legit musical cred.
And that's how I think a lot of people in the music industry looked up to him like that. Again, and I didn't know that. Like, I'm not, I know music, I have eclectic tastes. I like a little bit of everything, but I don't know. I've never done a deep dive until I got into my 30s in some of these people, and it's just, you really appreciate their contributions.
What would you say, Pete Schwaba? What's your wheelhouse of entertainment? What genre? What part of entertainment do you say, boy, that's the one I really know best, or I like to talk about the best on the show, or otherwise?
Tap dancing?
Really? I did not know that.
I wish I could tap dance. No, probably. Well, I mean, I started in the business as a stand-up comedian, and then I kind of segued into comedy writing. So I would say probably comedy. But I also, like, growing up, I loved like Woody Allen, Albert Brooks, these kind of these comedians that wrote their own films, starred in them, and directed them. And I got to do that with my film, The Godfather of Green Bay. So certainly not to the degree of success that those guys had, but those were my influences growing up. I just loved comedy. I loved stand-up, sketch, funny movies, and TV. So that's kind of been what I've done my whole adult life. And the great thing about Nightlight is I get to talk about those experiences and have some of those people on the show at night to, like you said, help people kind of wind down at the end of the day after especially now with what's going on in the world and in our country. I mean, talking politics could be stressful enough just when you're coming from this side and this person's coming from this side. But now what's happening, it's like you really need an escape, you know? And so much so, Todd, it's so contentious right now. I almost feel like I shouldn't be talking about some of this stuff. Like, you know what I mean? But I think people do need an escape.
I was watching After Midnight, the show that comes on after Colbert on CBS. It just got canceled, actually.
Oh, did it really?
Oh yeah. What's now I'm blanking on her name. The host, Taylor Tomlinson.
Yeah.
And I've heard that she's a spectacular comedian, like a stand-up in a club. But I don't want to go into it, but I think the show was ill-conceived. It was low budget and just a weird show, so that's canceled. But she came on, I think it was Monday, and she's like, "Yeah, this is the last week of our show." But she's like, she was. You could tell it's the last week because now she's really good because she's saying what she really thinks.
Yeah.
And she's like, I honestly don't want to do this crap right now. I don't feel like I should be joking about this when all this stuff is going on right now.
But all the more reason, you can't. I mean, I make the mistake sometimes of looking at the most toxic, like Twitter. It's just, it's like nobody commenting. They're all spewing such hate, and they don't have the real names, their real pictures or anything like that. So, all the more reason. I look at that right before I go to bed, and then I need a sitcom or something to wind me down, So
you can wind down every night with Pete Schwaba and Nightlight. We'll come back, talk with more with him and Conrad. We're live from WGBW in downtown Green Bay on the Civic Media Radio Network.
reach, engage, grow with Civic Media. Log on civicmedia.us/advertise.
Find what you love what you find. Total Wine and More, there's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup available, you'll always find what you love only at Total Wine and More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
But I thought it was a
Time out.
concept, but I agree with
All
you.
right. Remember, we're a team that plays
I
together.
really tried to watch this,
Listen,
like, 2
the
weeks
winning will
straight.
take
I
care of
tweeted
itself.
out, I'm like,
we just have to get everyone
As someone
involved.
who really wants people
In
to
interscholastic
succeed,
sports, we
I
celebrate
don't know
what
what
makes
the hell
every
this
one
show
of
is
us
about.
unique.
What is it?
And in the pursuit of a common goal, everyone in the huddle, in the bleachers,
But it
and
was
in the
like,
community
is this supposed
comes
to be like, whose line is it
together.
anyway?
This
Or
message
is
presented
it-
by the WIAA and the Wisconsin Athletic
Which show?
Coaches Association.
After midnight.
America
and it
is
seemed
kept
like
safe
everything
because
that
the Army
Taylor
National Guard responds,
said,
protects,
you could
and
tell
supports our
it was
nation when
all
it needs them
pre-written. It was
most.
off a
From fighting
teleprompter. And
wildfires
I'm
with
like,
air support,
let her be
helping
herself.
civilians in flooded neighborhoods, to delivering food and supplies to those who have lost everything. The Army National Guard always responds when disaster strikes. The Army National Guard also trains to be ever vigilant
Yeah.
against threats, foreign
No, they never
and
did.
domestic.
They scripted
protect
her
our
most of the
skies
time,
with
and
missile
then, yeah, it
defense
wasn't a
weaponry.
real
They
game
secure our
show,
information,
but it wasn't a
communications,
talk
and
show.
infrastructure with
And then the
cybersecurity.
last,
And they
I don't
protect
even know
us
if it's been
against
a year.
chemical,
The
biological, and
last 7
radiological
months,
hazards
they've
with the
added-
civilian
they-
support
it's literally
team. The
called
Army
the
National
Sun
Guard
says
also
the
stands
talk
ready to
portion of the
deploy
show,
and provide
and they bring out
support
a
for
couch and they
conflicts
have, like,
or humanitarian
7
missions
minutes
abroad.
of talk.
Join the Army National
It's
Guard
weird.
and be there to respond, protect, and support your community and your country. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
It's our Scotty
See how
Summer
that's
statewide text to win contest on your local
but-
Civic Media radio station. For a complete list of contest rules, log on civicmedia.us/contest-terms. The John and Gordy Show.
Do we get another voice
Just to
note
see if it
there?
works for us.
Troy from Mount Laurel. Tell that Peterson guy to shut his yap.
Cam and Appleton just sent us a couch potato.
Oh
you
my
can go to
God.
Civic
Cam and
Media app,
Appleton
you
just
know,
sent us a
collect them and
couch
start-
potato.
Conrad, did you see that?
Got about 30 seconds.
All right.
Maybe you guys
Check
can
out-
use it on the show tonight.
Aaron, could you send me that?
Yes, I will.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
That's horrifying.
Welcome back to the Town Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. We are live in downtown Green Bay at the home of WGBW Studios here, and also Nightlight with Pete Schwab. It's now 8 minutes before the top of the hour. At the top of the hour, 4 o'clock, ABC or CBS News, depending upon which of our great stations you're listening to across Wisconsin. Weather update, our great sports reporter Mike Clemens will be in with a sports report, and then it's the Maggie Dawn Show across the network every afternoon from 4 until 6, followed by Nightlight with the one, the only Pete Schwab. He is here in his own studio here in Green Bay with us, along with his great producer, Conrad, on the other side of the glass. Gentlemen, thank you for letting us borrow your studio for a day.
Well, thanks for...
Actually, 2. As it turned out.
It's great to have you here. I know you've been here before, Todd.
Yeah.
It's like you're kind of an old pro here when it comes to Green Bay. You've done your show everywhere in the state.
I'm like the bad penny that keeps showing up. You know? Oh, God, not him again. You know? We were talking a little bit in the last segment there. Of course, Pete's show, as we said, airs every night from 6 until 8. We were talking about Taylor Tomlinson a little bit. I mean, how is your show? One of the reasons I love your show, and I don't mean to suck up or anything here, but I truly mean this, is that it has a little bit of that Carson vibe to it, Letterman vibe, because it's truly, you have people on, because of your connections in Los Angeles and across Wisconsin, you have legit people in entertainment, and not just actors or directors, producers or all comedians, all those people,
Right.
and you have the time enough to have real conversations. And I love that about the show.
You know, I like doing that. I first of all, since I've been doing the show, we've been on for like a year and a half, maybe almost, and I have been floored at the amount of talent in Wisconsin, whether it's comedically, comedy, music. Terry Barr comes on every Friday night. She's on vacation. Rocker comes on tonight for a bar band Friday night, and the music I've found just from local artists and the comedy from local comedians, even comedians in Wisconsin, but specifically because I do the show here in Northeast Wisconsin. Some great comics. So it's kind of made it easy. So yeah, it's fun to have people on from all over the country or people I've known a long time and kind of do a deep dive into, you know, what makes you funny or how do you write your jokes, that kind of stuff. But it's been great to talk to more local artists as well. You know,
I've said this before on the show, but it bears repeating because I love the story. My stepmom, who is over in Shawano, and she'll listen to our show occasionally. But when you join the network, we had a conversation. I said, "Oh, Pete Schwaba's going to be doing this show." She went, "Wait, Pete Schwaba? You mean the guy that does this show on public television?" And I said, "Yeah." And she said, "Oh, I want to listen to that."
Oh,
so
that's
I mean,
funny.
your work there, I think, is really well, and it's great work as well.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, that was a fun. I watched this show on PBS Wisconsin called Director's Cut. My friend Steve Burrows was on. He had made a film called Chump Change, which was very funny. And, you know, this guy on PBS Wisconsin is interviewing Steve on this show called Director's Cut. I'm like, this is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Like, PBS California doesn't have that, where I lived at the time. And when I came back, I had made this film called The Godfather of Green Bay. And I sent it to them. And I said, "Hey, I'd love to do your show." And they said, "Okay, we'll have you on." And then the host stepped down, and I took over shortly after moving back here. And when I went on as a guest, I had my pal Lance Barber come on with me, who was in The Godfather of Green Bay, and he happened to be in the Midwest at the time. And so we did the show together, and it was just a blast. So I did that for about 10 years, and now we still do episodes periodically, and we do a Wisconsin Film Festival episode. But most of my duties there now are writing the intros for Independent Lens and POV.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So I write them, and then I introduce them, but it's not – rarely do I get the chance to be funny or say, you know, because some of these documentaries are so heavy.
Right.
And a lot of them are from foreign countries, and you got to research everything. So it's kind of become a different gig, but it's really fulfilling. I really like it.
I got more. I went to Wisconsin Film Festival this year. I mean, one other time, but you know, two people I know. John Roach had his great film, very powerful film. Was it Alone? No,
A Road at Night.
A Road at Night. Thank you. The story of Howard Moore and the tragedy of his family going through that car accident. And then our friends at Just a Bit Outside, the story of the 1982 Milwaukee Brewers, which I have the DVD in my hot little hands. Sean Hanisch and Kelly Call, great story of the Brewers. That was also at the Wisconsin Film Festival. And so there's so many Wisconsin-based people or people from Wisconsin that do great film.
Oh, man. It was this year in particular was fun because I got to meet John. He was on Director's Cut for our episode.
Yeah, Roach, fantastic guy.
And that documentary made me proud to have an association with Wisconsin. Like, I didn't go to UW-Madison. My brother Andrew did, but I was like, oh my God, that film, the first part of it made me want to go back in time and go to UW-Madison.
Right, yeah.
And then it gets very heartfelt at the end and there's a tragedy, but what an incredible story that was. And then Sean and Kelly, I got to hang out with a couple times just at the after parties and they were great guys. Like I'd had Sean, I met Sean through you. You had him on your show. We had him on Nightlight a couple times. He did the Popcorn Pick of the Week one week. And then I met Kelly at the film festival, and I just really enjoyed talking to those guys. So they're having fun being back in Wisconsin. Yeah. And I had fun just meeting them and talking to them about the business. So it was a blast.
Conrad, best part of working with Pete on Nightlight, or worse, whichever you want.
The end of the night when I get to go home.
Wow! The end of the night when he gets to, you can't buy that kind of loyalty.
Like where this is going.
No, you guys are great together, and that's part of the. You know, you clearly do get along, like to work with each other, and that's another part of the show that I enjoy as well.
Conrad writes a 2-hour script every night, and then I hack the hell out of it. He gets mad at me, and he storms out, and then we have to get it back together before we go in there. We have a good
coming
time,
up tonight.
We've got an actress from the UP, Stephanie Gurno, who does a lot of horror film acting. She's on the show at 6:35. Comedian Steve Hofstetter at 7:05. And then it's a bar band Friday night. Rocker is filling in for Terry for the third week in a row.
Wow.
Terry Barr will be back next week, but she's taking a
off for the Penguins, right? I think something like that.
I've been tracking her all over the globe because I put a bug on her car. And, yeah, she's driving.
She's driving around the world. I
across
didn't know
the world. But Terry will be back next week, but
All right.
she's having a blast. So.
Well, many thanks, not just to you, but thank you very much, Pete Schwab. Listen to him tonight from 6 until 8 on Nightlight. Conrad, thanks for all your work the last couple of days as well. Want to shout out to Todd Michaels, the GM here in Green Bay and Oshkosh. Also to Amanda, Eliza, all the other crew here at Green Bay for making this happen this week. Really appreciate you guys do a great job up here. And Lisa Hale for coming on the show as well today. And Zamra's back home. We'll be back there on Monday. And to everyone else at Civic Media who made this show go, thank you so much. And a big thanks to all of you who are listening and watching. Todd Allbaugh say, whatever you're fighting for, whatever you believe in, do not give up. Keep banging your drum. Stay safe this weekend. We'll see you next weekend. Listen to Pete tonight from 6 until 8.
What is that song?
Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Adios.